We are underway at Bramall Lane. This is Sheffield United against Newcastle United. Newcastle United defending the goal in front of the Bramall Lane end away to our left-hand side. Nick Pope all in blue. Slightly miscues his first pass out from the back. Kieran Trippier does him a favour and keeps the ball in play. A welcome to our listeners across the globe as well on the BBC World Service. Welcome to Sheffield, Bramall Lane, the venue for our commentary, the 4:30 kickoff here in the UK. And here's Callum Wilson back into the Newcastle team, looking to get Miguel Almiron away down the right-hand side. Ball up in the air, Trippier runs forward to win a header. Sheffield United play it forward into the Newcastle half. Fabian Schär stretches, wins the ball, and then he's rather clumsily brought down in midfield by the Brazilian Vini Souza, and Newcastle get themselves the free kick. So, Clinton Morrison, we're expecting big things. We're looking forward to this, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. It should be a good game. Sheffield United, obviously, I think if they're going to stay in the Premier League, the home games are going to be crucial to them. The fans here play a big part in them getting a result. As for Newcastle, it's been a slow start for them. But as I said, good result in midweek and a good result last weekend against Brentford.
So Newcastle have possession inside their own half. 4 changes from the 0-0 draw in the San Siro on Tuesday night. 2 changes for Sheffield United from their cruelest of cruel defeats away at Tottenham last Saturday. John Egan is back in their back line. Chris Basham has dropped to the bench. Ollie McBurney sent off in that game, suspended. So Ollie Norwood has come in. He was left out last week in favour of James McAtee, who started again. But McAtee and Norwood both in this Sheffield United midfield, and Cameron Archer is the only recognised striker in the team. Good move building from the home team. Jayden Bogle's first time cross all the way to the far post, chested down, hit well and brilliantly blocked, and Gustavo Hamer, no it wasn't Hamer, I beg your pardon, it was Luke Thomas with the left-footed strike, had the freedom of Bramall Lane for a second there and couldn't quite find the finish, Clinton.
Yeah, it was one win back to the other win back. It was good play down that right-hand side, and McAtee played in Jayden Bogle. He hit a first-time cross and Trippier didn't see Thomas behind him, but it was a good block from Trippier in the end.
Nick Pope, low ball, better ball out to Kieran Trippier in the right back position. Up it goes towards Callum Wilson. Wilson chases but is beaten to it, and Sheffield United play it back to goalkeeper Wes Foderingham, who's in a very light grey goalkeeping uniform. Left-footed floated ball downfield. Fabian Schär goes down. Claims he was knocked over by Gustavo Hamer. Referee this afternoon is Stuart Atwell. Just told him to get up and get on with it, and the ball is back in Newcastle possession, and Nick Pope again, not the best with the right foot, slices the ball straight out of play. So Sheffield United have Foderingham in goal, Akmahodzic, Egan and Jack Robinson the 3 centre-backs, Jayden Bogle and Luke Thomas the wide men. They just combined for that early chance for the home team. Vini Souza, Ollie Norwood and Gustavo Hamer, James McAtee as well, all in support of Cameron Archer as the lone striker. Long throw down the left, goes straight out of play for a Newcastle goal kick. They have Nick Pope in goal. Eddie Howe hasn't messed about with the back four, so exactly the same as Tuesday night in the Champions League. Trippier, Schär, Botman and Byrne, Longstaff, Guimaraes and 20-year-old Elliot Anderson in midfield. So Anderson comes in for Tonali for this one, and the front 3 changed entirely. Almiron and Barnes in support of Callum Wilson, who I note ahead of this game has scored 14 goals in his last 17 Premier League appearances. Finished the season on fire last season, has continued in the same vein this season. The ball is loose inside the Sheffield United half. Lovely flick from McAtee. Very nearly got Sheffield United away. Cameron Archer goes in to try and win a ball. Sean Longstaff onto it for Newcastle. Forward to Almiron. Just struggled to bring that under control. Souza makes the tackle. Almiron goes down. Play continues. Longstaff tries to slide one through for Wilson. And it's a very busy start in the early minutes here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle 0, and I've just realised you can't say United at any point, can you? Because we've got 2 Uniteds, and so it's full names each time.
You're spot on. And you know what I've seen with a lot of the newly promoted teams, they like to play out from the back, but sometimes you've got to be really careful. Sometimes you've got to play in the right areas, Ali, and just then Sheffield United nearly got caught. Good defending from Egan, but Almiron nearly slipped Callum Wilson through there.
Aberdeen still leading Ross County by 4 goals to 0. Sunderland, Cardiff still goalless in the Championship, and that is where we stand at the moment. Rangers leading Motherwell by 1 to 0 in the Scottish Premiership. Bogle this time, not such a good cross. Guimaraes is there for Newcastle, intercepts. Dan Byrne under pressure, just fizzes a ball forward with his left foot. And Sheffield United playing some nice stuff in the early stages, working the ball to the left to Luke Thomas. Luke Thomas on loan from Leicester. Cross to Vinny Souza, one of the summer signings from Belgian football. Header won by Trippier. Falls to Almiron, strokes his pass accurately, precisely to Guimaraes. Nice ball forward from him to Longstaff. That ball across to Anderson was just behind him. He couldn't do much with that. Headed away by Botman. Chested down by Thomas. Real pace on that pass. Fizzed into the feet of McAtee, who's got the old school look with the socks rolled down, trying to thread a ball through to Cameron Archer. Trippier read it, slides in, doesn't go out of play. McAtee keeps it in play, and there's a lovely pace to the start of this game. Souza playing a little 1-2 in midfield. And back it comes to Jack Robinson on the halfway line. And Callum Wilson now starts the chase. The defensive effort high up the field for Newcastle. Egan plays it across to Ahmedhodzic. Back it comes to Fotheringham. Sure first touch from him. Clipped away with his left foot. McAtee, and actually acres of space there. Turns away from Almiron, slows things down, and Sheffield United start to move from inside their own half. And Souza looking for one straight up the middle of the pitch to Archer. That was intercepted. End to end at the moment. Guimaraes looking for Wilson. Wilson's little step over. Edge of the Sheffield United penalty area, shot driven. Fotheringham gets down, makes the save, and then falls on the rebound. Clinton Morrison.
That's where you have to be careful, Sheffield United. You can have all the possession, but as soon as you lose it and vacate that midfield, Bruno Guimaraes with a good ball, and Callum Wilson's got the beating of the back three. It's a good save from Fotheringham, but he didn't really get enough power on it. But that's where Sheffield United have to be really careful.
Stoke won Hull 3 earlier on in the Championship today to continue Hull's excellent start to this season. Here's Anderson, 20-year-old Anderson, in for Tonali this afternoon for Newcastle. Collects the ball wide on the left, right down by the corner flag. Can't quite beat his man. Ahmedhodzic plays it up the right to Bogle, and Sheffield United, as Clinton was saying, will try and play out, and then John Egan's seen enough of that and decides he's just going to thump it up towards the halfway line. Botman's there for Newcastle, and they win the ball back. And
that's where it's going to be hard, Ali, for Archer, because he's up there by himself, and when you play them long balls, you usually want your centre forward to hold it. That's where they'll miss Matt Burney this afternoon.
Trippier plays the ball into midfield. Sheffield United injury list actually is quite a long one. They're not all first team regulars, but McBurney is certainly a miss for them this afternoon, as Clinton was saying. Anderson goes down, challenged by Ahmedhodzic. Stuart Atwell says that is a free kick because Ahmedhodzic got man, not ball. So chance for Newcastle to attack with an early set piece, and this is another minute's applause for Mady Cusack. We're in the 8th minute of the game. The Sheffield United players, as I said, were wearing those number 8 shirts before the game, and the applause rings around Bramall Lane while the football continues. Bogle clears the bouncing ball. Archer chases, job on his hands to try and win it from the towering figure of Botman, who just leans over him and heads the ball away to his left. Every single person on their feet inside this stadium applauding to remember the life of Mady Cusack. And there's a problem here for Clinton. Who is that?
Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes is down early on for Newcastle, having been given the start this afternoon. Almiron runs a dummy and allows the ball to run to Wilson. And Almiron has it, realises that Barnes is down. I think, well, by the look of it, Clinton, that might be that for Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, because if you've just got a knock, you would know and you would get back on. So it must be something muscular. He's been down for 2 or 3 minutes, and none of the players saw it. So it might be someone, Murphy or probably Anthony Gordon time.
Right, Harvey Barnes sat down. A member of the Newcastle United medical staff has come sprinting across to have a word. Only a second start of the season for Harvey Barnes, signed from Leicester in the summer, of course. Made that goal-scoring start on debut, coming off the bench against Aston Villa on the opening weekend of the season. But judging by the look of it and the message he's given to the doctor here, he may not be out there for too much longer. Let's check in on Rangers Motherwell in the Scottish Premiership then. Gavin Wallace.
And I tell you something, well, still 1-0 to Rangers at the moment, Ali, but Ollie Shaw for Motherwell found himself in a great position inside the box. He should have scored. He smacked it towards Butland, who made a great save, and then Rangers cleared. At the moment, though, with 15 to go, Rangers 1, Motherwell 0.
Sunderland Cardiff in the Championship kicked off at 3 o'clock. Shojo Saka.
Yeah, 12 minutes of the 90 to go. It's still Sunderland 0, Cardiff 0. Sunderland winger Jack Clark has been the standout player this afternoon. Again, brilliant down the left, setting up Patrick Roberts, who should have scored, and all he could do was put it right to the keeper's hands. Sunderland 0, Cardiff 0.
Aberdeen still leading Ross County by 4 goals to 0. That would be Aberdeen's first win of the season. If Rangers go on to get the win against Motherwell, they'll move to within 4 points of Celtic, with St Mirren in between the two. Harvey Barnes is slowly and dejectedly trudging off the pitch here at Bramall Lane. For a second there, Clinton, I wondered whether he was considering whether he might be able to continue. He looks absolutely disconsolate, and Anthony Gordon, who's been the man getting the nod wide left for Newcastle so far this season, comes on. And that's the point we were also making before kick-off, is Newcastle, having made the signings they've made and the way they've built the squad, particularly up front, Clinton, they have good options.
No, they do have good options, and you're right, Gordon's been really good, but I did think it would be a good signing when they brought Barnes in. I like him, he's an exciting player. I see him at Leicester. It hasn't really got up and going for him at Newcastle, and now he's going to have a setback with an injury, so you feel for him.
Yeah, very disappointing for Harvey Barnes. All of his Newcastle teammates that he goes past on the way off the pitch, just giving him a handshake and a pat on the back of the head. He has a quick word with Eddie Howe. I mean, he's managed to come off the pitch unaided, but clearly doesn't feel he can continue and doesn't want to risk the problem that is there. So he's going to head straight down the tunnel, and Anthony Gordon, not difficult to spot, with the bright blonde hair wide on the left for Newcastle, gets into the game. So 4 changes made before kick-off, and there's disruption to the team right at the start. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 0. Coming up to 12 minutes played in the first half. One chance in the game if you have just tuned in so far. Luke Thomas's shot saved. Here's Callum Wilson, edge of the Sheffield United box, tries to just tickle one back to Gordon. Cleared by the home team, headed forward by Cher. Ball falls here to Anderson. Anderson across to Guimaraes. They try to play the 1-2. There's Hamer outside of his right foot. Plays a ball into midfield, and Ahmedhodzic turns and plays back to his goalkeeper. Not much pace on that, so Fotheringham really has to give it a thump to get it downfield. Archer does well. Nice 1-2 with Ollie Norwood. And then McAtee pops up in a little bit of space on the right and is up against Dan Burn. Burn backs off. McAtee plays the ball back towards the halfway line. Ollie Norwood onto it. Strokes the pass across the Newcastle half. And eventually it comes wide left here to Luke Thomas, the left wing back. And Jack Robinson, having received the ball, goes back to Fotheringham again. 13 minutes played. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 0. More reaction from the 2 o'clock kickoffs at half-time in this game. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton taking the calls on 6:06 tonight. They'll only be there for an hour. So get your calls in good time. They'll rattle through them for you, because then we'll be dealing with Wales against Australia, full commentary Rugby Union World Cup. Here's McAtee inside the Newcastle penalty area. Cross to Thomas, who volleys wide at the far post. 2 good chances early in the game. He just sliced that one. Not an easy skill to finish that off, but both times, Clinton Morrison, Luke Thomas has been in a lot of space.
He has, and you know what? Who's running the show, Ali? McAtee is running the show. Absolutely brilliant feet again. Good little 1-2 with Jayden Bogle, and he's outside of the boot, the ball to Luke Thomas at the back post. It's a great ball. He goes for too much power. If he just side foots that back where it comes from, it could be 1-0 up, but McAtee at the moment is running the show.
Yeah, enjoyed watching James McAtee play for Sheffield United last season. Watched him here in an FA Cup quarter-final, then wasn't able to play in the semi-final, of course, because it was up against his parent club, Manchester City. But as you'd expect, being a Manchester City footballer, he is a very good player.
Yeah, he can play. I suppose when you're playing with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, you're going to have to be able to play him. Rodri.
That's right. 9 goals and 3 assists for him in the Championship last season, and here he is again, trying to help Sheffield United dig themselves out of the bottom 3 in the Premier League this afternoon. Elliot Anderson for Newcastle receives the ball from a throw. Plays back to Dan Burn. Loose pass from Burn, but actually it's overrun by Luke Thomas, so it did run to Almiron. Wide on the right for Newcastle, about 35 yards out from the Sheffield United goal. Trippier to Almiron and back to Guimaraes. Guimaraes, who's got that number 39 in bright yellow on the back of his dark Newcastle shirt, the change kit this afternoon. Guimaraes side foots the ball back to Cher. Almiron moves towards him. Cher goes to Trippier. Trippier's closed down quickly by Hamer, and the ball comes off Hamer from the Trippier pass and runs all the way back to Newcastle keeper Nick Pope. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2, Brighton 3, Bournemouth 1, Chelsea 0, Villa 1, Liverpool 3, West Ham 1. The Premier League scorelines you'll be reacting to on 6:06 this evening. Ball over the top from Cher. Important header from Egan. Just got enough on that to get it back to Fotheringham, because Callum Wilson was lurking, and Wilson's got himself in some good positions early on here, Clinton.
Yeah, he's different from Isak. I think he'll score more goals than Isak, because Isak's a very good player. He drops deep. He wants to link the play. Callum Wilson just wants to threaten him behind and wants to score goals. So they're 2 different strikers, and they complement each other ever so well as well.
Yeah, just noticed actually on the Premier League goals tally, Callum Wilson currently on 82, so not a million miles away from reaching the 100 club, which is a big deal in Premier League football. Ball up towards him, headed away. Here's Sean Longstaff, releases Wilson. Wilson in good space on the right. Newcastle players bombing on to try and support Wilson with a little bit of skill. Ollie Norwood's not buying that, runs across and makes the tackle, and Norwood just scoops it away with the outside of his right boot. Chested down in midfield by Sousa. Hamer stretches. Hamer against Trippier. Hamer holds off Trippier, and Sheffield United move into the Newcastle half. Hamer's done well for his team there, and Norwood, good vision, out to the left it goes, and Luke Thomas really has to stretch to keep it in play, but the move keeps going, finds Archer. Archer looking for the 1-2 with McAtee, not enough on the pass, round the corner, and then there's a foul on Guimaraes just outside the Newcastle penalty area, and that'll be a free kick to Newcastle. But that was some lovely build-up play.
Yeah, they're moving it well. You see when Heyman picked the ball up, a good little 1-2. He wants Bogle to be getting forward. Bogle's worrying too much about Gordon. He has to get forward. Thomas is getting forward down this left-hand side, but they started well, Sheffield United, really well.
Reaction as well to Europe retaining the Solheim Cup in a thrilling 3 days of golf. The overall match score finished 14 apiece, so Europe, as holders of the trophy, retain that. So European celebrations, Ryder Cup on the way next week, and Scotland-Tonga, big game for Scotland in the Rugby Union World Cup underway. Commentary over on Sports Extra. McAtee, left-footed ball to Hamer, angles tight, hits the shot, and Cher manages to block it. The ball spins away and runs out towards the left-hand touchline as Sheffield United attacks. Sousa drives one, and Nick Pope makes a relatively comfortable save.
Yeah, it's McAtee again on that left-hand side, and Hamer, them two causing problems. They two are just playing behind Archer, and they're causing a lot of problems. They don't know whether it's Shaw or Botman should pick them up, causing problems, and Sousa has the shot. It's a comfortable save from Nick Pope.
Coming up to 18 minutes play, Clinton Morrison with us at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 0. Sheffield United so far creating some good opportunities, and the ball has gone out here for a Newcastle throw. No, it's a Sheffield United throw, which is why the Sheffield United fans were applauding. Trippier maybe just playing dumb there, just to waste a bit of time, took the throw, but it's a Sheffield United throw, so Jack Robinson strides forward to take that for his team. Looks behind him, Egan is there in support, holds the ball in both hands behind his head, standing now almost shoulder to shoulder with his manager, Paul Heckingbottom, in the black polo shirt, black tracksuit bottoms. Cameron Archer chests one down, holds onto the ball inside the Newcastle half. Good vision from Hamer, wide it goes to Bogle. Bogle plays back into central midfield. This is inside the Newcastle half. Norwood across to Sousa. Sousa wide to Thomas. Almiron will never stop running for Newcastle. Head lolloping backwards and forward as he does so. Newcastle have won it, great football. And that's Trippier's ball forward to Guimaraes, looking for Wilson. There's a touch on that, important deflection on that, and Sheffield United managed to work it back to Fotheringham. Goal in the game between Sunderland and Cardiff. Shojo Saka.
Totally against the run of play. Sunderland 0, Cardiff 1. It came from a corner right through the Sunderland defence. I think it's Ruben Colwill who got the touch, just waiting for confirmation, but it's Sunderland 0, Cardiff 1.
Sheffield United have conceded a free kick here, much to the dismay of the home fans. Longstaff is down. Hamer challenged him just inside the Sheffield United half, and as you can hear, the United fans, the Sheffield United fans, aren't having it.
It's not a foul. I just seen it on the replay. He just stands his ground, Hamer does, and Longstaff runs into him. He's nothing he can do. It's clever from Hamer, but for me it's not a foul.
So free kick Newcastle. Boos, cheers, whistles continue. Paul Heckingbottom, as we know, very unhappy with the officiating for different reasons, of course, in the game against Tottenham last week. Howard Webb has been in to chat to him and the Sheffield United players this week. This game remains 0-0. Longstaff still getting booed. He's on the ball, plays to Almiron. Anderson goes down off the ball. Sheffield United fans are telling him to get up. Trippier curls a pass back into his own half. Botman controls it. And there's Anthony Gordon looking for a quick ball forward to Wilson, intercepted. Gordon does well though. Quick off the mark to get there ahead of Bogle. He's then tackled by McAtee. Very even game so far, Clinton.
It is. It's an exciting 0-0. Sometimes you get a 0-0. It's not exciting though, Ali. It is 0-0. And you're thinking there's any minute now there's going to be a goal, because you can see both teams are going for it.
Throwing down the line from Dan Byrne. Bogle reads it and heads the ball out of play for another Newcastle United throw. Initial ball goes into the crowd. There's another one just sitting on a little plastic cone there, but Dan Burn has ignored that. Level with the edge of the penalty area. Anthony Gordon makes the run. Bouncing ball. He's followed that. Surely went over the byline. Longstaff scores. Now will it count? At the moment, Newcastle celebrate the goal, and the referee says to Sheffield United, just wait. Just hang on a second. Sheffield United think that ball may have crossed the dead ball line.
Oh, they think it's a foul on Egan. I think it's that. You're right. From where we are, we can't see, but I think they're complaining that maybe there might be a foul, because I'm thinking to myself, it kind of looked like everyone stopped, didn't it, Ali?
Yeah.
It did look like they were stopped, so we'll wait and see. I think you're right, though, mate. I think they will be checking.
It's another one of those classic VAR moments where Newcastle United fans are sort of half celebrating the goal away to our left because they're not entirely sure. Let's have a look. Anthony Gordon down by the byline. Tries to get out. No, he's kept it in. Then it hits his hand, the ball, and then it goes out as well,
yeah.
I think.
I think that's where they're saying it hasn't gone fully out. Good luck trying to see that, Ali, on that. Because it does keep it. Look, here. Oh, look at it there. And if there's a bit of the ball on the line, then the goal will stand. Referee
Stuart Atwell, we're back to the centre circle. The goal will stand.
Yeah. I don't think it's the handball, Ali, because he doesn't know nothing about it. It's if it went over the line, and there's a bit of ball on the line.
Yeah, no, well spotted, Clinton. So, Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 1. Sean Longstaff gets the goal in the 21st minute. And you have to say, really good work from Anthony Gordon, because that was an awkward ball to try and bring down and do something with. He put pressure on John Egan at the back there, and yes, Clinton's right, the ball bounced up, hit his hand accidentally, he continued, it didn't cross the dead ball line, and Newcastle United fans can now properly celebrate the goal. See it for yourself on Match of the Day 2 tonight, BBC 1 at 10:30, Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 1. Back underway. Robinson's ball towards Archer, just beyond Archer. Pope quickly off his line to the edge of his penalty area, grabs it with both hands and just rolls it out to Trippier. Trippier side puts a ball into midfield. There's the goal scorer Longstaff. Almiron picks up inside his own half and plays back again to Fabian Schär. Now Schär might have a problem with a contact lens or something here, because he stopped for a second there and was sort of feeling his left eye. Anyway, play continues. Byrne up towards Gordon. Gordon back to Guimaraes. Guimaraes, calm ball across the face of the Newcastle penalty area. Sheffield United in the red and white shirts, slowly closing in, and Kieran Trippier plays back to Pope. Newcastle defending that goal in front of the two-tiered Bramall Lane stand away to our left, and Trippier's in just a little clumsily through the back of Luke Thomas as Sheffield United get a free kick wide on the left. 23.5 minutes played, first half. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 1. We're just going to see what Sheffield United can do with the attacking set piece, and then we'll give you a first update of the Rugby Union World Cup action between Scotland and Tonga. Commentary continues over on Sports Extra, but it's an attacking chance here for the home team Sheffield United, who have started pretty brightly but find themselves behind. McAtee, short sleeve shirt, socks rolled down, hands on hips, stands to the right of the ball, and he could curl it in with his left foot. All the players gathered on the edge of the penalty area, but no, he leaves it for Norwood. Norwood's in-swinger. Byrne heads it up in the air. Nick Pope jumps, can't quite get there, scramble in the box, and then it bounces into Nick Pope's arms, and he immediately bowls it out to Anthony Gordon, and Newcastle might have a chance on the counter. Almiron senses that as well. Here's Gordon getting booed as he makes way down the left. He's tackled. Let's check in on Scotland-Tonga. Claire Thomas.
Scotland need a compelling victory today to keep their World Cup hopes alive, and they are up and running thanks to a converted score within 5 minutes from hooker George Turner. That's their first try of the tournament and showcased just how destructive this forward pack can be. 8 minutes gone in Nice, and it is Scotland 7, Tonga 0.
Yeah, Scotland up against it in their group. If you didn't hear it, I was driving up last night on my way to get here for this game. The commentary last night on Ireland, South Africa from Chris Jones and the team was absolutely compelling. Plenty more Rugby Union World Cup commentaries to come. That one over on Sports Extra at the moment. Wales, Australia. The build-up starts at 7:30 tonight on 5 Live. Always available, all of them on BBC Sounds as well. And the game kicks off at 8 o'clock, and it'll be well worth a listen, because that really is a massive game for both of those nations in their group. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 1. McAtee on the ball for the home team. Midway inside the Newcastle half, strokes a beautiful ball to his left to find Thomas. Thomas tries to just work it back here to Hamer, but he has won Sheffield United a corner. And their response to going behind Clinton Morrison's been good.
They've been the better team in this first half. I think Newcastle score against the run of play, like it has been end to end, but Sheffield United have kept the ball and looked to threat. McAtee and Hamer are causing problems just behind Archer, so they shouldn't be deflated by conceding that early goal.
Aberdeen get their first win of the season in the Scottish Premiership. They've thumped Ross County by 4-0. Remains Rangers 1, Motherwell 0. That'll be heading towards full time as well. Cardiff 1 up at Sunderland in the Championship. Norwood with the corner for Sheffield United. Pope puts out an arm, punches it away, and there's a meaty half volley which is hammered over the crossbar. Hamer taking a chance, and why not, because he's a great striker of the football, but couldn't quite keep that ball down.
No, yeah, but it's good. It's been a good game. I tell you one thing, Gordon's come on and made a difference. What a player he looks this year from when you've seen him on previous seasons. He really does look sharp, and he's causing Sheffield United a lot of problems down that left-hand side.
Nick Pope, just watching the replay of the corner that came in, possibly complaining about being blocked. A couple of instances of that as he was trying to get to balls in the Newcastle penalty. I thought Wilson shoveled that across the floor with his hand. He's saying he got his hand trodden on. Newcastle continue to attack. Diagonal ball from Longstaff wide to the left to the danger man Gordon. Dan Burn has come thundering down the left to offer support. Oh, and that's an ugly challenge on Gordon. Gordon's gone down in a heap, and that will be a yellow card for the tackle by Ahmedhodzic. So he goes in the book. Full-time Rangers Motherwell. Gavin Wallace.
Rangers 1, Motherwell 0. Cyril Dessers' first league goal of the season. The difference is he stuck a foot out on a Ravi Vitondo shot on 24. Motherwell's player Spittle had 2 shots cleared off the line by Connor Goldson, but Rangers up to third, 4 points behind Celtic. Rangers 1, Motherwell 0.
Thank you, Gavin. I think Ahmedhodzic there, Clinton, was just listening to your words about Gordon being the danger man, and unceremoniously decided to take him out.
Yeah, it was a crowd tackle because Gordon's going away from goal. He doesn't need to make the tackle, and now he puts his team in danger, especially with Trippier's delivery.
Yeah, Trippier from wide on the left with that trusty right foot, just getting everything just so, wiping his face on his shirt, rolling the top of his right sock down a few deliberate paces back, and then curls the ball in that pace. Great delivery. Oh, and I thought that might end up in the far corner. Wilson stuck a boot out and didn't get a touch, but so often those free kicks, when they don't get a touch, sometimes they go all the way in. That was a fabulous ball.
Yeah, that's what Trippier does. He always puts it on the money. And yeah, Callum Wilson, I think he goes with his left. If he goes with his right, he has a good opportunity there, Ali.
Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 1. Coming up to half an hour played. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service, and Sheffield United have given the ball to Almiron, who tries to find Gordon, and Egan makes a vital interception sliding in on the edge of his own box. 2 or 3 times in the first half Sheffield United have caused themselves real trouble, and they cannot afford to concede another goal. Already a goal down against Newcastle. Full time at the Stadium of Light. Shojo Saka.
It's finished. Sunderland 0, Cardiff 1. Some of their Sunderland players are on the floor. 41,000 Sunderland fans totally stunned. Their team dominated throughout. 16 goal attempts, not many clear-cut chances. They failed to score. Cardiff had started wasting time before half-time. They hung in there. It was the classic smash and grab. Mark McInnes bundling home a corner in the 87th minute. Sunderland 0, Cardiff 1.
Anthony Gordon causing problems again for Sheffield United here at Bramall Lane. Good run down the left, eventually stopped. The cross is cut out and it goes behind for a corner to Newcastle. So Sunderland, after that defeat against Cardiff, sit 5th in that championship table. Leicester and Ipswich on 21 points, Preston on 20, Hull with their win today on 15, and Sunderland there on 13, and Cardiff joined them on 13 points. Sunderland, Leeds and Cardiff all on 13. The championship as fun and as unpredictable as ever. Corner taken short down the byline to Guimaraes. Back it comes to Trippier. Low ball. Almiron's curling shot hits a body, a Newcastle body inside the penalty area. Behind it goes. Sheffield United say handball, but a corner's been given. The first touch came off a Newcastle player, I think Fabian Schär. Sheffield United say that was an arm and they want a free kick. Then there was a touch of a a Sheffield United player, and it's been given as a corner.
Yeah, you're right. But it's a well-worked corner. Almiron should do better. It's good from Gimaresh and Trippier, and it does deflect. It deflects off Cher's arm, and Fodrum has to make the save. It does hit his arm, but it's by his side, and he's not flicked it out, has he, Ali?
Two instances in the first half of a Newcastle player in an attacking position handling the ball, but quite rightly not giving us handball. Curling corner, Dan Burn! Diving header at the back post. Brilliantly worked set piece by Newcastle, and it's Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 2.
Complete mismatch between and John, I think it might be John Egan at the back post. It's a mismatch. Dan Burn's too powerful, but the ball in from Trippier is brilliant, and Wes Foderingham decides to come. Once he comes and he doesn't get there, he's in big trouble. But brilliant header from Dan Burn at the back post.
Champions League, Newcastle flexing their muscles here at Bramall Lane. The corner before that was all short and clever and passes and routine, and that one is all about, as you say, Clinton, Dan Burn making the run, then the delivery has to be on point. Egan just couldn't handle Dan Burn. I mean, do you know what? Had he not headed that in, that could easily have been a penalty for the shirt
right.
pull.
And it's Mahodzic, sorry, my mistake, not saying Egan. It did look like Egan, but it was Mahodzic, and he's not. And you know what? It could have been a foul, because you know why, Ali? It's a mismatch, and he's not once looking at the ball. He's just looking at Dan Burn and pulling his shirt.
2 goals for Newcastle United last season. Off the mark this season. Dan Burn always going to be a threat at those set pieces, particularly when you have the delivery from the right boot of Kieran Trippier. So Newcastle well in control, and at the moment Sheffield United staring a 5th defeat in 6 Premier League games at the start of this season right in the face. But so far in all their games they've never been out of it, and they have played some decent stuff in this game.
No, they have, Ali, but you know what? That is the Premier League. It is ruthless, and you start well and you miss a couple of opportunities. I'm thinking about the Thomas one. You will get punished.
Callum Wilson penalised for a foul, a shove there on John Egan. Ironic cheers from the Sheffield United fans, but their team has plenty of work to do. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 2. Could be some week for Newcastle, actually. Winners against Brentford last weekend, then the 0-0 against AC Milan in the San Siro, which has to be considered a decent result, under the pump in the first half. And now here they are, 2-0 up away to Sheffield United, and it's Manchester City in the League Cup on Wednesday night for Newcastle. That game will be a full commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sound. Sheffield United have the ball inside their own half. Egan, there's not enough on that. Gordon's in for Newcastle. Anthony Gordon finds Wilson. The shot's weak, and Foderingham gets down and makes the save to his left. That should have been 3-0.
Yeah, that's a bad miss from Callum Wilson. What a tackle.
Meaty tackle. Jack Robinson
yeah, he's going to send him off.
Has gone straight through there on Sean Longstaff. Now he got ball, but he got plenty of Longstaff, and the assistant referee immediately waving the flag furiously. He's talking to the referee. The Sheffield United players are surrounding the referee, Stuart Atwell, and Stuart Atwell sensibly, Clinton, is just going to say, I'm going to take my time here, and he's gone yellow card.
Yeah, do you know why? He came running over like it was a red card, and you know what he's done? And you're spot on, Ali. He gave himself time before he makes that decision to send him off. It was a strong tackle. I think Robinson gets the ball, but it is a strong tackle, but it's the follow through. So I think when we see the replay, he gets the ball. He does get the ball, and it's not high either, Ali. It's just the force of the tackle.
Yeah. And the other thing the referee knows now with VAR is yellow can be upgraded to red. Now, I think that's what happened to Malagusto this afternoon in the Chelsea Villa game.
Definitely. But is that Ali? He gets the ball.
Yeah.
It's just they're saying because of the force of it, because he goes down Longstaff. For me, that's not even a yellow card. He gets it, but it's no. Do you know why?
Really?
Because he gets the ball and he's not high. Yeah. But it's just because you know what, Al? It's the follow through.
I think in real time, actually, Clinton, that looked worse, didn't it, than it actually was. And then we see the replay, and you're right. That's a really committed challenge.
You're right.
And I think the Sheffield United fans actually thought that the left leg that made contact with the ball had sort of gone straight onto Longstaff's shin, but it didn't, did it?
No, you're right, Ali. Yeah, when we saw the replay, you're spot on. But in real time, it did look like it was a straight red. Yeah,
and the Sheffield United fans are looking for some way to try and get back into this game. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Lots more reaction to the Premier League football played so far today. At half-time here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds and in the Football Daily podcast tomorrow. Here's Trippier, whips it in from the right, headed down and in! Newcastle United have a third here at Bramall Lane. Sven Botman, the man to get up high, heads the ball into the bottom corner. Couple of bottles of water I can see being thrown from the Kop end to our right. One of them caught one of the Newcastle players on the foot. The Sheffield United fans not happy. No excuse for throwing stuff from the stands. But Newcastle United again from the set piece. Brilliant delivery and a fabulous header. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 3.
Yeah, they're not happy with that. It shouldn't have been a free kick, but they don't defend the set pieces. That's been their biggest problem. They haven't defended the set pieces this afternoon. 2 set pieces from Newcastle, and it's 3-0, but 2 goals. Good ball in and a free header from Botman. Game over.
3-0 to Newcastle, and we've still got 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Beautifully guided header that by Botman. Just had to get the right contact on it, and Fotheringham watched it all the way into the bottom corner, but just couldn't get there full stretch. Desperate to try and do that. Callum Wilson, I can see, now having a word with Stuart Atwell about what went on after the goal with the stuff that was thrown at the Newcastle players. Obviously the game will continue, but that will be something looked at by the authorities right now, and obviously will continue to be discussed and acted upon after the game. But Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 3 is the all-important scoreline here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Sheffield United shell shock really. 1 down after 21 minutes. Burns' goal came in the 31st and Botman's goal in the 35th. And we wondered how Newcastle might cope post-Champions League football, Clinton. They seem to be doing all right.
Yeah, they are doing well. But that's the problem with Sheffield United. They go down and they just crumble. And that's why I mean it's a big league, the Premier League. You have to stay in the games, and they've been rattled by everything.
Here come Newcastle again, looking for a 4th before half-time. Longstaff plays it out to Trippier, so 2 assists for Trippier already in the game, and that's a lovely bit of skill to make his way past Archer. Low ball this time, makes its way to Almiron, lays it off to Guimaraes, pace on his curling ball to the edge of the box. Anderson wins a good one, falls to Anthony Gordon, trickery from him, he goes tumbling inside the penalty area. That was Jayden Bogle with the challenge. Sheffield United fans think Gordon has made a meal of that. Stuart Atwell has let play continue, and the ball has gone out for a throw to Sheffield United. And as you can tell from the atmosphere inside the stadium, home fans not happy with anything at the moment.
No, they're not happy. It's a penalty.
Oh, it's a penalty.
It's a penalty. He
VAR.
catches him. VAR will say that.
Yeah,
he catches him.
he's
Look.
caught him.
He catches him. Look. Oh, it's a penalty.
I think so.
After watching the replay there, it's a penalty.
Jayden Bogle has flicked out a right leg. He did not get the ball. Now, he didn't kick Gordon too hard, but he kicked him.
Yeah, he kicked him before.
He kicked him.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
That is going to be a penalty.
Oh, he's not give it. He's not give it.
How's that not a penalty?
Wow.
Sheffield United 3-0 down. They've given the ball away again. They're at 6s and 7s. Callum Wilson shoots straight at Fotheringham. And now Wilson's gone down having hit the shot. He was tackled. Egan checks he's okay. Sheffield United are all over the place.
They are.
It's
It's been a bad 5 or 10 minutes for them. They just need to settle down. They don't want this to get out of hand.
Good skills from Hamer. Holds onto the ball for Paul Heckingbottom's team inside his own half. He was fouled. Referee blows the whistle to take the free kick quickly. Souza to Robinson. Robinson under pressure from Guimaraes. Turns away from him inside his own half. Norwood has to stretch. Finds Bogle. Bogle's come a long way infield from the right-hand side, driving through central midfield. Almiron comes sliding in. Sheffield United fans, know that's a foul. They're absolutely baying for a yellow card here for Miguel Almiron, and he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it, which is going to increase the ire of the home support. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 3. Lines will open for 6:06 at half-time. Number to dial is 08085 909 693. So much to talk about after today's football, and plenty to talk about from this game already. Free kick, Sheffield United. Norwood takes it 10 yards inside the Newcastle half. Diagonal ball in towards the box, and the volleyed cross is blocked by Longstaff and goes behind for a Sheffield United corner.
It's been an entertaining 39 minutes, Ali, that's for sure.
You said it would be, Clinton.
Yeah.
You actually said we'd have more goals than Arsenal-Tottenham. Now that had 4.
Yeah, we got
3.
I think Sheffield United will score and Newcastle will score some more goals. So there'll be lots more goals. That's it.
The ever positive Clinton Morrison. Corner for Sheffield United. Taking it to Scotland, Tonga in just a second at the Rugby Union World Cup. Let's see if Sheffield United can get on the score sheet. Driven corner from the right. Dan Burn heads it away. Headed back into the box by Bogle. Longstaff there with another header. The ball drops just on the halfway line to Luke Thomas. Thomas sees a man in space wide on the right. The ball comes into the edge of the box. Newcastle have enough players there. And then Guimaraes is fouled. Try in the game between Scotland and Tonga. Claire Thomas.
Tonga have struck back in Nice to take the lead through winger Solomon Carter. Both sides have really been fizzing it about, and the build-up play to this one was suitably joué, as they say in these parts. William Havili added a conversion to go with his earlier penalty, and so Scotland trail 7 points to 10 in this must-win match as the first quarter draws to a close.
Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. The big one tonight, Wales, Australia, on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Clinton, are you just looking at the celebrations
the replay,
again?
You can see the bottle hit, I think, Anderson's ankle when he's throwing it at him.
Yeah. No, it's unacceptable. We said it at the time. And, you know, whatever frustration you're feeling. And actually, Newcastle players, I don't feel, were goading the Sheffield United fans. They are shooting towards that end. They were celebrating amongst themselves. It wasn't as if they were sort of cupping a hand to their ear or anything like that. So, just frustration boiling over, but that is dangerous. There was plenty of liquid in that bottle. If that catches someone on the head, then it could do some real damage. 4 minutes remaining in this first half, and Newcastle United in total control. They lead Sheffield United by 3-0. Just going to check the table as it stands. I think I'm right in saying that if Newcastle win the game, they will go above Manchester United into 8th. Cameron Archer chasing through a nick poke to the edge of his box quickly, slides out, clears with his right foot, and it goes out for a Sheffield United throw. Yeah, Newcastle will go up to 8th above Manchester United on goal difference, and they'd be a point behind West Ham, who were beaten 3-1 at Liverpool today. Manchester City top on 18, Liverpool second on 16, Brighton third on 15, Tottenham and Arsenal both on 14, Villa on 12. That's the top of the Premier League table as it stands. Souza forward to Hamer. Hamer challenged well by Anderson in midfield. Challenges flying in. Norwood's first time ball up towards McAtee. Quickly tackled by Cher. Longstaff's pass to his left finds Guimaraes, and Newcastle are going to be so dangerous on the counter. Here they come again, sweeping forward. Gordon moving at pace, plays it to Wilson, one-on-one. Fotheringham gets out quickly, blocks it. Corner for Newcastle.
They're a threat now because Sheffield United have to come out, Ali. With the pace that Newcastle have, the likes of Gordon, Almiron and Wilson, they'll always get chances. It's a good save from Fotheringham, to be fair. Wilson was trying to dink it over him. He come and spread himself ever so well, but yeah, every time Sheffield United go forward now, Newcastle will break on them.
So another corner for Newcastle. They've scored one from a corner and one from a free kick. Sheffield United will know the danger. Can they do anything about it? Kieran Trippier goes over towards that left-hand side to take it for Newcastle. Again, very carefully, makes sure everything is right. Picks the ball up, delicately places it down, right on the edge of the quadrant, as the players like to do. Runs up and kills on him right towards that near post. Hits something there. Gordon drives it, hit it really well, high and wide, and behind for a goal kick to Sheffield United. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 3. 2 minutes remaining plus added time at the end of this first half, and I can see Stuart McCall and Paul Heckingbottom both sort of stroking chins in conversation and just wondering what on earth they can do about it. I mean, Newcastle, given their squad strength and what they did last season, would go into the game as favourites, Clinton. Sheffield United are going to be up against it against a lot of teams this season.
Most games that they go into, they're not going to be favourites. Sheffield United, they're always going to be the underdogs, especially when you've got 9 players, as you said. Their injury list, they need everyone fit, and I know it's not all regulars, but some of them are regulars. They need everyone fit to compete to stay in this Premier League.
Dan Burn, ball down the left to Gordon. Gordon well inside his own half. He's looked really dangerous since coming on for Newcastle. Poor old Harvey Barnes going off early with the injury. Longstaff towards Guimaraes. Guimaraes back to Longstaff just inside the Sheffield United half. Floated ball out wide to the left. Neatly brought down, and then infield come Newcastle with Anderson. Guimaraes wants that ball. He's not going to get it. It's played back to Longstaff. Trippier's in a lot of space here on the right, and Cher's seen that. Finds him, low pass, a lot of space again for Anderson, lines up the shot. Might have hit Callum Wilson that actually on the edge of the box, and the ball drops loose, and Sheffield United are able to try and play out. Norwood, diagonal ball up towards Archer. Archer does really well to leap, and I thought he'd done well to control it on his chest. It's actually come off his arm, says Stuart Atwell, and that'll be a free kick to Newcastle.
Yeah, it's been neat and tidy in their midfield areas, but where's the clinical bit? They haven't been neat and tidy in that final third, and that's been the difference. That's where you get punished in the Premier League.
couple of early chances for Luke Thomas, really good one right at the start of the game as well. Just waiting for Anthony Taylor to put the board up for added time at the end of the first half. Almiron running across the halfway line. Gordon wanted an early release, he didn't get it. 6 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Injury to Harvey Barnes, the VAR checks for the potential penalty on Anthony Gordon and the first Newcastle goal. It all adds up. Here's Trippier, wide on the right. Steve Crossman with us at half-time, bringing us reaction to Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2, Brighton 3, Bournemouth 1. Villa's win at Chelsea, Liverpool's win against West Ham. Here's Anthony Gordon onto the right foot, edge of the box. Just almost run off the ball there. Lays it off to Guimaraes, to Longstaff. Trippier makes a run on the outside. Longstaff on the edge of the box. Sheffield United desperately trying to plug these gaps. Guimaraes to Almiron's curler. Hits one of the defenders in the chest there. The ball bounces out. Hamer lobs it up in the air. Byrne nods it forward. Just used his strength to muscle McAtee off the ball, but Stuart Atwell says it's actually a foul, and that'll be a free kick for Sheffield United. But I mean, the way it's going, Clinton, you feel the next goal in the game is also going to be scored by Newcastle, the way things are going.
Yeah, you're right, because they look the most likely at the moment. After conceding, Sheffield United have just completely collapsed, basically.
5 minutes remaining then. Added time at the end of the first half. Goals from Longstaff and Byrne and Botman. Newcastle leading 3-0, but they want more. Wilson wide to Gordon. Gordon, swerving body movement, sliding across the Sheffield United half to Longstaff. Almiron, support from Trippier. Overhit the cross for once. Kieran Trippier gets it wrong with the delivery, and the ball runs out all the way for. In fact, it bent behind for a goal kick. I thought that might be going out for a throw-in. That's going to be a goal kick for Sheffield United, who find themselves 3-0 down in added time at the end of the first half here on 5 Live. What's happening? Scotland, Tonga in the Rugby Union World Cup. Claire Thomas.
Scotland have their second, and if the first was all about power, this one was pure flair. Velvety hands through the midfield to gift Duhan van der Merwe an overlap and a canter home. Finn Russell's conversion might have sailed wide, but Scotland are back in front, leading Tonga 12 points to 10 with 11 minutes left on the half.
Thank you, Claire. Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Fabian Schär heads the ball forward. His centre-back partner Sven Botman. Our producer Lee Blakeman has just pointed out, which you should have noticed, that was his first goal for Newcastle United. 49th appearance, so just managed it before he gets to the half-century. Cool. And took it well. And I know there's plenty of fantasy football managers who will have brought Sven Botman in this weekend, so they will be punching the air.
Yeah, loads had him. I don't have him, so I'm gutted. And when I saw him score, I was like, other people that I'm against have got him, and they've got Trippier, so I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, it's the way it works, Brenton.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm getting you on the pod this season. I've decided now. Fantasy 606 podcast.
No worries, I'll get
Statman Dave, Chris Sutton and I, we want you on. We want you on to chat fantasy football. It comes out every Thursday. If you haven't heard the latest episode, give it a listen. Chesney Hawkes was our guest live in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, Clinton, big time.
Wow, big time.
Here's Anderson to Gordon. Newcastle United, big time football in the first half, leading Sheffield United by 3-0. Anderson in for Tonali this afternoon. Dan Burn nearly lost that on the left, then tries to stab it to Gordon. Oh, it's a loose back pass. Longstaff slides, keeps the ball in play by the dead ball line, couldn't do anything with it, and eventually it's scrambled behind for a Newcastle United. Well, I thought it was going to be a Newcastle United corner. Maybe was it an offside?
I don't know. I think he thinks the ball's gone out of play. Oh, you know when he's scrambled?
I don't know if it did, you know.
When he scoops it back in, he's saying it gone out of play, but I don't think it did.
I don't think it did, but then this is happening all the time now. Has it crossed the line, hasn't it? I mean, that didn't lead to a game-changing moment, so they stick with that decision, but there we go. What have we got? 2 minutes of added time remaining at the end of the first half. Lines will be open for 6:06 shortly. Wales, Australia in the Rugby Union World Cup. 8 o'clock kickoff tonight. And if you're an NFL fan on Sports Extra from 9, the Bears at the Chiefs tonight in the NFL. Right-footed ball from Elliot Anderson across to Dan Burn. Big long stride powers him over the halfway line, but he's decided to slow things down. Wants a breather just before half-time. Of course, given the 3-0 lead in the football they played in midweek, as and when he wants to, Eddie Howe can make the changes again this afternoon, although he has already lost Harvey Barnes to injury. Wilson's flick on is easily cleared. Missed time clearance from Botman. Ball just hits him, falls to Guimaraes, who then performs a back heel nutmeg on McAtee. That was, wasn't it?
That was outrageous.
He's taking the mick, that is. Taking the mick out of McAtee. Ball is back with Fotheringham, Sheffield United's goalkeeper. Looks up, plays it forward with his left foot over the head of Bogle. Byrne heads it down towards Gordon. He can't control it. Ahmedhodzic back to Sousa. Sousa turns away from Longstaff, comes back to his goalkeeper again. 2 Newcastle players close in quickly, and Fotheringham under pressure. I mean, it did the job there. He's hooked the ball straight out of play for a Newcastle throw wide on their left. Leading 3-0, heading up to 8th in the Premier League, it looks like, in a League Cup tie at home against Manchester City on Wednesday night. League Cup commentaries on 5 Live and BBC Sounds and Radio 5 Sports Extra. Tuesday and Wednesday next week. 7 o'clock Thursday night, the Ryder Cup preview show before it all gets started at the Marco Simone golf course just outside Rome. Early on Friday morning, do not miss a beat on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Here's Elliot Anderson, Europe's women retaining the Solheim Cup in a thriller this afternoon in Spain. Gordon, good strength, hits the shot, deflected. Fotheringham just gets up in time, tips it over the bar to prevent it being 4-0 at the end of the first half. That'll be a corner to Newcastle. Clinton Morrison.
They can't handle Gordon. Bogle can't handle him on that right hand side. He's causing him all kinds of problems, and Ahmedhodzic as well. He's trying to come over and help him, and they can't deal with him. He's causing them all kinds of problems. He's had a great impact since he's come on.
11 shots in the first half for Newcastle, and a first half that has just ended. They cannot take another set piece, but they are comfortably in front. The opening goal from Sean Longstaff. Sheffield United thought there was some debate about that, a potential handball. Had the ball crossed the dead ball line, it was all checked and okay. And then a couple of goals from set pieces, Clinton, Dan Byrne and Sven Botman. Some nice football from Sheffield United at times, but they're 3-0 down.
Yeah, it's good football, but good football don't keep you in the Premier League. That's the difference. Newcastle have been clinical in that box. Not much to talk about in the build-up play, but they've been outstanding, and they've had a player in Anthony Gordon that's been in fantastic form. So a big team talk for Paul Higginbottom at half-time, but Newcastle have been outstanding.
Boos and jeers for the officials. Stuart Atwell and the 2 assistants. Atwell with the ball in his right hand as he makes his way down the tunnel. And of course those unacceptable scenes of bottles thrown. Plastic bottles, yes, but liquid in them. One of them struck Elliot Anderson as Newcastle celebrated their 3rd goal. Half-time though at Bramall Lane. Home fans not happy, as you can hear. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 3.
And if there is any good news for Sheffield United fans, it's that we don't have time to dissect that first half because we've got so much Premier League reaction to squeeze in between now and second half commentary with Ali Bruce Ball and Clinton Morrison. Also, we're keeping you right up to date in the Rugby World Cup with Scotland against Tonga in Nice. Claire Thomas.
Scotland have to win today, and with a bonus point if they want a shot at the playoffs, and they are going about it the right way. World Cup debutant Kyle Steyn has just carved through the Tongan defensive line for their 3rd. The conversion might have ricocheted off the uprights, but what matters is that Gregor Townsend's side are now a try away from the bonus point score, and they lead 17 points to 10.
Mikel Arteta, Jurgen Klopp and more on the way on Premier League Sunday after the news with Dan Maudsley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has ordered a review of armed policing after dozens of Metropolitan Police officers stepped back from firearms duties. Staff have been handing in their permits to carry guns, saying they're worried about the impact of a murder charge being faced by a marksman following a shooting in South London. A 9-year-old boy from County Tyrone has died after a hit-and-run incident across the border in Ireland. Ronan Wilson from Kildress was pronounced dead at the scene last night in the County Donegal seaside resort of Bundoran. Police in Kosovo say 1 officer and 3 gunmen have been killed after about 30 attackers stormed a village before barricading themselves in a monastery. The Kosovan Prime Minister has urged the gunmen in the village, which is near the Serbian border, to surrender. And a space capsule carrying NASA's first asteroid samples has been recovered by helicopter from its landing site in the Utah desert. The capsule touched down this afternoon, carrying about 250 grams of dust on board, which will be distributed to scientists around the world.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
And the lines are open for 606 08085 909 693. You can get your calls in right now to speak to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. They'll be with you once we're done at Bramall Lane, and there is a lot to talk about. Here at the Emirates, a thriller of a North London derby. Tottenham coming from behind twice to draw 2-2 with Arsenal, and here's the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta.
I think we started the game really well. We were really, really aggressive, regained a lot of balls, created chances, scored the goal. we should have scored the second one. That's for sure with the chance.
You're talking about Jesus one?
Well, especially that one, and that is a different game. And we had the best moment. We conceded the goal, and we had to regroup. And we had a period of 5-6 minutes before halftime that we suffered a little bit. Then I think we have to make the changes. Declan was out, and I had to adjust the midfield. And then in the second half, again, we started well, I think, in the right to score the goal, score it, but we gave the advantage away straight away, and that was emotionally, I think, a hard one to take for the team. And it was a period where the game became a little bit basketball. We lacked composure on the ball to keep it better in the right areas, and then we had another go for 15-17 minutes to try to score the winner, but we didn't manage to do it.
You talk about that emotional energy, and that's been built in the stadium, but the team got to learn to be a bit more controlled in the precise moments of the match?
Especially with the ball in certain moments, to have more composure, more calmness, and get us the time to get in the right structure, because it's a team that is really good in transition moment. I see the desire in the team that doesn't want to be satisfied with the 2-2. We go for it, and it's a shame that we didn't manage to win the game as well for our supporters.
Mikel Arteta speaking to George Cummins. 5 wins from 6 Premier League games this season and 18 unbeaten in all competitions for Liverpool after a 3-1 win over West Ham United. Here's Jurgen Klopp with Mike Maine.
Jurgen, you've got to be happy with that, particularly perhaps after the first half and how hard fought that was as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was not unhappy, if the right saying, or disappointed with the first half. This is the first half against West Ham that absolutely is normal. So you cannot keep them quiet, in this case now for 50 minutes. So you have to be ready to put a proper shift in. What I love the most about today, 2 things, is how mature it was. It was not just exciting football, easy, bam. It was like really hard fought and well played in moments. And again, impact from the bench is just exceptional. How we can do that in a moment, that gives us a really good feeling for the moment. We all have to stay fit that we can do that, but at the moment most of them are, and that's why we can do it, and that looks really good.
Big games, big goals for Darwin Núñez as well. What a goal that was for your second.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't see it back yet, so I only saw it. I saw 30% of it.
Watch it back.
Yeah, I will definitely. I saw the chip at least, the pass, so that was already really good. Yeah, he played well, and it was the right decision to let him go again, like it was with Lucho. Obviously a super game from him as well, so in both directions, and they worked super hard, like how Mo Salah worked today. We should not forget that. So that makes a difference. If you do that, we are difficult to play. If we are difficult to play, we can win football games. That's how it is.
Jurgen Klopp with Mike Maine, 08085 909 693. You can call now. You can book in to speak to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606. Afternoon, Rob.
Afternoon, Steve. What an afternoon of sport. The Solheim Cup. What about that, Steve? What a thrilling end that was. 40-0 retained.
Do you know what? I'm here at the Emirates, and we were listening in to Ian Carter's updates throughout the second half, and it was swinging the USA's way, then it was swinging Europe's way. It was fantastic. A bit like the game that I've just watched, actually.
Well, I was watching that as well. The 2-2, what a game. Son, it was an entertaining game, but it didn't disappoint, did it? I heard you this morning walking up, was it Islington Hill? Yeah. Out of breath. It didn't disappoint. It was worth the journey, Steve, but, who will be more pleased? Will it be Mikel Arteta or will it be Big Ange? I think Spurs fans will probably be more pleased with that result. But Liverpool, wow, are they unbeaten now in 17? I think just behind Man City in the table. Strength in depth. The recruitment in the summer's been magnificent. Are Liverpool the biggest contenders to win the Premier League ahead of Arsenal? And listen, I think City will win it, but are Liverpool going to be their biggest challengers ahead of Arsenal and Spurs? And what about Chelsea, Steve? Haven't scored again. How long does the directors, the Todd Bowley, give Mauricio Pochettino? I think he needs time, but not to score in 3 consecutive games, isn't it?
Yeah.
None against Bournemouth, none against Forest, none today against Aston Villa. It's worrying time for Chelsea. I had him in my top 4, Steve.
Well, listen, Robbie, stay with us because we can actually hear from Mauricio Pochettino after that defeat to Aston Villa. Here he is with Henry Moran.
For you personally, you look at your side, you're getting forward, you're getting good opportunities down the flanks, but it just feels like the clear-cut chances are missing. What is missing for your side?
Well, I think it's only about to be more clinical in front of the goal, is to take a little bit, that millisecond of time to be more calm and relaxed. But of course, sometimes we are anxious and we are really rushing the decision, because of the situation. But I think we try to relate this, to be calm, because always it's important for the offensive player to stay calm in front of the goal. But we create many chances today. Unlucky that we didn't score, but we need to keep going.
What's your message to Chelsea fans that'll be so desperate to see this turn around?
No, first of all, thank you because of the support, and then we feel disappointed again. But we never give up, and we are going to work hard to try to change as soon as possible the situation.
That's Maurizio Pochettino. We've got more reaction coming in as well to Brighton's 3-1 win over Bournemouth. 9 changes for Brighton after their European debut in the week. No problem for Roberto De Zerbi's team, who won by 3-1.
I think we played one of the worst game in my time. But I knew the reason. We played Thursday, the first one we played after a European game. I changed a lot of players, maybe too many, but I have to change. I don't want to take risk in injury. We lost Pascal Gross and James Miller for much time, and we can't and we couldn't take any risk with other players, and I'm speaking about March, about Mitoma, about Joe Pedro, JP Van Eyck, and for it I'm happy because we showed strong character, we showed strong passion, and we wanted to win with our best.
Roberto De Zerbi, and before him Maurizio Pochettino. There's got to be, Robbie, surely some understanding from the Chelsea board that the problem is bigger than anything going on in the manager's office.
Yeah, of course, but I'd ask the question, Graham Potter then, why wasn't he given the time? Because have Chelsea improved, even spending all that money this summer in the recruitment? Would Graham Potter have done a worse job? Listen, I would have given Graham Potter more time, as I would give Pochettino more time. And you look at Chelsea compared to Brighton. Wow, third in the Premier League table. De Zerbi, what a team Brighton are. And just before we finish, Steve, watching that first half, Sheffield United against Newcastle, will Paul Heckingbottom again be talking about referees? The first goal. Listen, I don't think the ball's out of play, but it's surely a handball. By the ball touching Gordon's hand, that's allowed him to keep control of the ball. I know it hasn't led like the new law, off the goal scorer, but for me it's handball, and the referee's got to see that and blow it for handball. So I just don't get it. Listen, and the penalty, I've seen Chris on social media saying he didn't think it was a penalty for Arsenal. But listen, the letter of the law, that's a handball. Yeah. Which the law, it's the law's wrong, Steve. Nobody knows if handball's given or not. 08085 909 693, Steve.
Thank you very much. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton with you for 6:06. You can book your calls in right now. Let's just run through all of the other scores this afternoon then. So in the Championship, Hull City 3-1 winners at Stoke City. Liam Rossini doing an amazing job. They're up to 4th in the table, and it was Sunderland 0, Cardiff 1. In the Scottish Premiership, Rangers beat Motherwell by a goal to 0, but they stay 3rd in the table despite that. And Aberdeen got their first win of the season. What a way to do it. 4-0. Victors over Ross County. Majowski, who scores so many of their goals, got 2 of them. Now, after a sensational 3 days of golf, Europe have retained the Solheim Cup. They drew 14-all with the USA and Spain. Ian Carter, it was a home favourite, holing the putt to keep the cup in European hands.
Yes, it was Carlotta Saganda doing it with birdies at the 16th and then the 17th to beat Nelly Korda 2 and 1, and that took Europe to the magic number of 14 points. And boy, they celebrated. The closing ceremony going on as we speak. Jubilant scenes have been continuing throughout, albeit for a drawn match. We watched it all with Lydia Hall, a winner on the Ladies European Tour. This is going to be massively celebrated, isn't it, by the whole European golf community?
Yeah, 100%. We'll be jumping on the back of this. There was outstanding performances today by Leona Maguire, who's second out, winning 4 and 3. Followed by Headwall, the questionable pick, but she delivered. She stood up and absolutely delivered.
She
Maya
came from
Stark,
3 down on the back 9.
Yeah, incredible golf. And Maya Stark, Carlotta Saganda, what can I say? The last two holes were incredible.
And just a quick word on the level of celebrations, because there was still a match on the course which was ultimately won by Lexi Thompson against Emily Pedersen, but they had to wait for ages. Those celebrations that went on there were as though Europe had won, but it was only a draw.
Yeah, they retained the cup. They were a little premature, I think, with the celebrations, because they could have actually won and got to 14.5 points if Emily Pedersen did half her match going down 18 with Lexi, but it didn't get that far. Ended up Lexi a win on 17th green.
It sets it up beautifully, Steve. It really does, because we've got the Ryder Cup next week, but we only have to wait a year for the next Solheim Cup, and it will be the same captain, Suzanne Petterson for Europe and Stacey Lewis for America. I'm sure the US will be looking for revenge, even though they've not lost here. It feels like a European victory. They're the ones celebrating. They're the ones with their hands still on the Solheim Cup.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's go straight back to Nice, the Rugby World Cup, Scotland and Tonga. Claire Thomas.
Half-time here, where Scotland are very much in the driver's seat in this crunch Pool B match. They lead 24 points to 10 and, crucially, have the bonus point in the bag. Open side Rory Darge barrelled over from short range as though fired from a cannon, and Russell added the extras. Tonga are also down to 14. Their winger, Afusipa Taumau-Pau's high shot on Jamie Ritchie has been referred to the bunker, so we'll find out shortly whether or not he'll return in the second half. But for now, it is 40 played and Scotland lead by 14.
08085 909 693. You can book your call in now for 606. Robbie and Chris will be with you the other side of the game at Bramall Lane. Annie's song blasting out in the background. A lot of work for Sheffield United to do. Ali.
Yes, that is an understatement, Steve. Half-time, they're 3-0 down against a rampant Newcastle United. Paul Heckingbottom has made one change. One of the summer signings, the Ivorian, the winger Benny Traore, has come on for Jayden Bogle, who was playing right wing back in the first half. Looking at it, that at the moment, the way they've lined up right at the start of the second half, is to try and give Cameron Archer a little bit of support up top, Clinton Morrison, because they are sort of standing side by side. Newcastle on the ball early in the second half. Callum Wilson looking for a 1-2 with Miguel Almiron. Clearance initially blocked, then Ollie Norwood whacks the ball downfield with his right foot. Fabian Schär controls things comfortably, heads it to Trippier, who created the goals for Byrne and Botman with fabulous delivery with his right foot. Anthony Gordon on for Harvey Barnes in this game. Gordon started on the bench, but Barnes went down early with an injury. He's looked dangerous. He created the first goal for Sean Longstaff, and that is why Sheffield United find themselves in the hole they're in, and Newcastle United have started this second half sharply as well. Here's Longstaff on the right, just about level with the penalty spot. Thought about a cross, decided against it. Plays back down the line towards Trippier. Almiron stretches, pokes the ball in the direction of Gordon, but Sheffield United intercept, and that's not a great pass out. Cameron Archer can't control that, and the ball goes out for a Newcastle throw. So Traore on to help Archer, you think?
Yeah, as a 2, but he ain't that big target man. I think he likes to work the channels, and they've gone to a back 4, so it's not a 3 now. I think it's a back 4 with El Mahadji coming out to right back.
Okay.
Luke Thomas and Johnny, John Egan and Robinson as the 2. There you can see it.
Centre backs and Luke Thomas at left back. Okay, yeah, got that. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 3, and the stadium, the home fans, a little silent at the start of the second half. Newcastle in total control of the ball at the moment as well. Botman, score of that third goal, plays it across to Schär. Schär curls a pass across his own half, which can be a risky thing to do, but it found its target in Elliot Anderson. Anderson to Guimaraes, and back it comes to Botman. Longstaff being closed down by a couple of players in the red and white striped shirt. Sheffield United in those colours, black shorts with the red trim across the bottom and the black socks with the red tops, playing towards the Kop in this second half. Nick Pope now under pressure, just chips the ball with his left foot to the right and finds Schär, and Schär has a route out there because he plays on to Trippier, and Trippier goes long, looks for the speeding run of Almiron, couldn't quite find him, and Fotheringham wants to get Sheffield United on the front foot, so he bowls it out. So they've gone to the back 4. Mahodzic wide on the right, Luke Thomas wide on the left, and Egan and Robinson as the 2 centre backs. Vinny Souza, Ollie Norwood, Gustavo Hamer in midfield, and then Benny Traore and Cameron Archer as the front 2. And Newcastle have Pope in goal, Trippier, Schär, Botman and Byrne, Longstaff, Guimaraes and Anderson as their midfield 3, Anthony Gordon on for the injured Harvey Barnes early in the first half. He is wide on the left, Almiron on the right, and Callum Wilson, who's had chances to score himself in this game. He is playing through the middle. The ball is at Kieran Trippier's feet. 3.5 minutes into the second half. Line's already open for 6:06. Trippier with the diagonal. Wilson, good lead. Flick onto Gordon. Chests it down. Corner of the box. Onto his right foot. Rolls the pass here. Looking for the 1-2 with Longstaff. Intercepted, but Newcastle will come again with Anderson. Longstaff, edge of the area. Gordon again looks for the 1-2. Longstaff goes down. No free kick. And the ball is brought away by Sousa. Sousa plays it down the right here to Traore. First touch of the second half for him. Tries to go past his man, but just pokes it too far, and it goes out for a throw into Newcastle on the left. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle 3. They may not win this game, Sheffield United, Clinton, but there's still a real job to be done in this second half, because a heavy defeat at home would be a hammer blow to morale, wouldn't it?
You're right, Al. You're spot on. And can they get a goal as well?
Yeah, here's McAtee looking for that. Down the right, chased by Newcastle defenders, still going. Flicks that ball into the near post, and Newcastle were just patient there, let him run out of space, and then Traore through the back of Elliot Anderson concedes the free kick, so Newcastle will have a chance to clear their lines.
Yeah, Sosa gets proper frustrated, I understand that, but throwing on the hands and that, it's not always good. You need to stick together. I've seen it 2 or 3 times. He's a passionate player, but it's not good. Can't tell the whole fan that you're frustrated with an individual. It's not good, but it's good play again from McAtee. He's very good. He's a very good player.
Oh, lovely player to watch. Nick Pope, Newcastle's keeper, all in light blue. Short sleeve goalkeeping jersey, one of those pushing Jordan Pickford for his place in that England team come the Euros next summer. Aaron Ramsdale would be another, but he's got a slight problem on his hands. David Raya starting for the 3rd game in a row for Arsenal today in their 2-2 draw against Tottenham. John Murray was commentating on that game. Declan Rice came off at half-time with discomfort in his back.
Yeah, I wondered why they made a change. I think it couldn't be for his performance. It must have been an injury. Yeah.
So that'll be one to watch for Arsenal. Here's Dan Burn. Half-volley cross with the left foot, really well caught. Guimaraes jumps athletically to try and win a header. This is on the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area. McAtee tries to bring it away, runs round Longstaff, and he's clattered by Trippier. Longstaff went down, McAtee went down, and no free kick given for either challenge. Longstaff back on his feet, chasing the ball from Trippier. Norwood read it, runs in and intercepts. And Luke Thomas, now there wasn't much in that, but Almiron did make contact from behind. Free kick for Sheffield United.
He should know better, Almiron, because when you're in that position as a centre forward, you want to go and press, but Luke Thomas has got nowhere to go. He's waiting for the contact, and you give away the free kick.
So free kick, Sheffield United sitting in that bottom 3, 1 point from the first 5 games going into today, and things looking pretty forlorn here in terms of their fixtures. West Ham away next weekend, Fulham away before the next international break. Ahmedhodzic back to Norwood, foul on the halfway line. Vinny Sousa is down, holding his face, holding his mouth and his nose, which is masked by his cupped right hand. And Stuart Atwell says that's going to be a free kick to Sheffield United. So I think the funny thing is, though, Clinton, with this Newcastle team and the way they played last season under Eddie Howe, obviously if Sheffield United get a goal, the home fans get into it. They don't necessarily strike me as a team that are going to wobble Newcastle. No. I mean, I think it already looks like they are absolutely determined second half to do this job, not concede a goal.
Yeah, and be professional. And they've got leaders and characters in that team, in particular Trippier, who will organise all of that. So it's going to be hard for Sheffield United, but they have to keep believing, Ali.
Yeah. Hamer deep inside his own half to Egan. Egan back from injury for this game, having missed the defeat at Tottenham Forest last week. Norwood plays back to Fotheringham. Fotheringham out wide to the left. Ball laid into the path of McAtee. Gave it back to Thomas. Back it comes to Robinson. So again, nice passing, but that's all done inside the Sheffield United half, so no threat at the moment. There's Hamer. Gets away from Elliot Anderson. Now he plays one through the lines. Brilliantly picked up by McAtee. And Traore's going to try and run onto the ball. It was meant for Archer. Hit Archer. Almost ran to Traore. And it's cleared for a Sheffield United throw on the right.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Get into little pockets. Hamer, a good ball to McAtee. And he's in that number 10 causing problems.
It was pretty close to a foul throw, that, from Ahmedhodzic. But assistant referee was right there, and he'd know better than me. So Sheffield United.
I'm not sure about that, Ali. Don't do yourself a disservice there, mate.
Well, you've never seen me run the line for my lads team, Clinton.
I've seen him run it this afternoon.
Egan up towards Ahmedhodzic. Back it comes to Norwood. Floated ball down the right. Good lead. And Sven Botman's gone down and he's hurt. He's holding sort of lower back at the moment. He's stayed down. Play continues though. Newcastle with defending to do. Cameron Archer tackled on the edge of the penalty area. Newcastle with Botman down, continue to attack down the right, and then Trippier's tackled. It will be a Sheffield United throw. They'll keep going actually, or will the referee say we've got to stop the game now? Botman leapt, landed awkwardly. It's just the way he's holding, sort of lower back, top of right buttock. Just looks like he's sort of overstretched slightly there.
I think he's. Oh yes, so it's the way he's come down. So he's gone to win the header and he's come down. He hasn't landed on his back. It's his landing on his foot, and it just jars something in the back of his back.
Giving himself a rub at the moment. No one else showing too much sympathy. Dan Burn is saying, "Come on, fella, up you get. We've got a game to win here." Jason Tyndall, Eddie Howe's right-hand man, having some detailed instructions he's passing on there to Anthony Gordon, who takes a big slurp of drink from the blue water bottle. And Sheffield United restart the game with the throw. So 10 minutes gone in the second half. Lines open for 6:06, an hour of 6:06. Rat-a-tat-tat tonight with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. 08085 909 693 is the number to call. And then from half 7, build up towards our full commentary of Wales against Australia in the Rugby Union World Cup. Massive game for both. Australia have already lost to Fiji. Wales, of course, beat Fiji and they've won 2 out of 2. So were Wales to win the game, they'd be looking really good for a spot in the knockout stages, and Australia would be on the brink of an exit in the group stages for the first time in their history of the competition. So real jeopardy on that game tonight. Well worth a listen on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Here's Gordon on the left. He's overrun it for once. Ahmedhodzic takes it off him. Gordon continues the chase. Dan Burn steps in, beats Archer to the ball. Newcastle recycle it quickly. Wide it goes to Anderson. Burn in the mood today, attacking down the left. Little dink cross into the near post, headed away by Egan. Anderson dummies a volley, flicks it back to Burn. Burn to Anderson, edge of the area. Gordon has just wandered dangerously into space there, but they couldn't find him. Guimaraes, surrounded by red and white shirts, deals with that. Across it comes to Fabian Schär, who'll sometimes hit them from there. Trippier's cross. Callum Wilson heads in from close range, and Newcastle United have a fourth. Wilson celebrates with the Newcastle fans. It was brilliantly worked from left to right. Callum Wilson has his goal, and Kieran Trippier has a third assist of the afternoon. What a player. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 4.
Yeah, it's brilliant play. Credit Fabian Schär. He steps out. I think the fans are telling him to shoot. Picks a good ball to Trippier, and he's got so much great vision, and the stand-up is brilliant. And this is where Callum Wilson, he scores goal. He's in the 6-yard box and he wants to score goals. That's why he scored so many goals in his career. But brilliant stand-up from Trippier. Brilliant.
So Newcastle United now lead by 4 goals to 0. Some afternoon for them. You can hear their fans singing loud and proud away to our left. Bottom tier of that Bramall Lane stand. Newcastle fans, get your calls in tonight. 08085 909 693. Same goes for Sheffield United fans as well. What have you made of this afternoon and the start to the season? 4-0, and Sheffield United get us underway again, and the ball is played back to Fotheringham, the goalkeeper, beaten 4 times and not much he could have done about any of the goals. And in fact, I can see Sheffield United fans making their way out of the Kop. They're heading home, Clinton.
Yeah, someone leaving just in front of us as well. Yeah, I think they've seen enough, but they still got to stick behind their team.
Longstaff looking to find Wilson in the middle. Wilson does get the ball now from Almiron. Almiron's hungry for a goal. Wilson tries to get it back to him. Might run to Wilson again. No, it doesn't inside the penalty area. Norwood there just in time for Sheffield United. That's a loose touch from Hamer. He's given the ball away. Newcastle are looking ruthless actually this afternoon. They know it's there for the taking and they're going for more. Dan Burn motoring again down the left. Gordon doesn't use him. Plays it here to Anderson. Eddie Howe. You'll never know it. Judging by his face, you never do. He doesn't give much away. He must be very, very satisfied with the performance his team has put in so far this afternoon. Trippier back to Schär. Schär's curling ball with his right foot out wide to Anderson. Sheffield United there for the taking. Pretty grim for them so far. 3 step overs from Elliot Anderson. Gordon almost gets in his way. Then the little scoop cross to the far post. That's really good defending there from Robinson. Wilson there making a nuisance of himself. Robinson again just scoops a clearance high up in the air. Trippier underneath it. Heads it to his left. Volleyed away up towards the halfway line. Intercepted by Cher. Controls it on the volley. Then cushions a little past the Trippier. And back it comes to Sven Botman. Everything going Newcastle's way.
It is, and Sheffield United can't let them go and make it 5 or 6. They're dented. Their confidence is dented already, but it's been brilliant from Newcastle.
Anthony Gordon towards Wilson, central position just outside the box. Just a little confused between him and Longstaff. I wonder whether Wilson was trying to tee himself up for a right-footed shot, and Longstaff possibly thought the pass was for him. But there's more goals in this.
Oh, definitely. You're centre forward. You want to stay on that pitch and score goals. Even Isak, I'd be warming up if I was him. You want to get on the pitch, wouldn't
Showing
you?
the manager.
Yeah. I want to get on the pitch. I want to get some goals.
Yeah. Scotland 24, Tonga 10, half-time score in the Rugby Union World Cup. Commentary over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. If you're not already subscribed to the Rugby Union Daily podcast on BBC Sounds, I can highly recommend that as another one of our pod offerings. Dan Burns, floated ball to the back post. Wilson delicately tries to bring it down in mid-air. He's tackled. And at the moment for Sheffield United, anywhere will do. It's just thumped out and goes out for a throw-in to Newcastle, who lead by 4-0. 15 in 18 Premier League games for Callum Wilson. That sort of form, Clinton, that is lovely as a striker, isn't it?
So he's just scoring goals, and he's not starting a lot of games either.
No.
They're kind of rotating him and Isak, but he's a goal scorer. That's what he's there. He's born to score goals, and that's what he does.
He's on 42 Premier League goals for Newcastle now. Shola Ramiobi next in the list on 43 alongside Andy Cole. Then you've got Beardsley on 46, so they're all in range. And there's a fella called Shearer. He's got 148, so he's got a little bit of a way.
I think he'll have to go somewhere. I'm not sure if he'll catch him. But
I don't think he'll have time. Guimaraes forward to Longstaff. Longstaff plays in Gordon. Must be 5. Poor finish. That'll be offside. Yeah, Almiron sticks it away. I mean, I can see that from here. I'm not a great lino.
I told you you're a good lino. You can see that from there. He's miles offside, Almiron. Gordon should be putting the ball in the back of the net. It's a good save from Fodrum.
Yeah.
But this could get out of hand for Sheffield United.
Yeah, it looks like it's going that way. That's a weak finish from Anthony Gordon. They're just going to check the offside, but he's well offside, Almiron, when the ball comes from the Fotheringham save. I think Tom Davis is about to come on for Sheffield United just to try and get something into this performance, because Sheffield United are being absolutely overrun at the moment, and they've still got half an hour of the game to go. Fotheringham clears with his left foot.
You know what, from Newcastle,
yes.
I'm bringing on the youngsters like Hall and Livramento in a game like that, because you played in the midweek, so you can give them some minutes.
Great shout, Clinton. Yes, here's Gordon. Could that be a better finish? Yes, it can. Right-footed curler into the bottom corner. Nightmare afternoon for Sheffield United, but Newcastle have a fifth. Anthony Gordon with a peach. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 5.
Yeah, and look, you can see this place is clearing now. It's clearing massively. Everyone's going disappearing. They've had enough. To be fair, it's brilliant from Gordon. Probably been the best player on the pitch this afternoon. He wants to come in on his right foot. Esma Mahodzic should be showing him down the line. Once he comes in there, it's a fantastic finish. Why didn't he do that 30 seconds ago, though?
that is a much harder goal to score.
Thank you, Ali.
Yeah.
You're spot on, mate. But it's a fantastic finish from Gordon.
But do you think that's almost, Clinton, he's expected to finish the first one, and that's kind of in his head, right, I must stick this away, whereas that one, it's just natural.
You know what?
There it is, whip.
You're spot on now. The first one, he's expected to score, so he's not he's thinking about it too much. That one, he's not thinking about it, and he's ice cool, and he just whips it into the bottom corner. Brilliant goal. Best player on the pitch for me this afternoon.
Right, Tom, and he wasn't meant to be starting. Well, I mean,
he wasn't.
He didn't start. Harvey Barnes got injured, and Anthony Gordon came on. So 5-0.
Maybe second best player. I forgot about Trippier's 3 assists.
Yeah.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
5 different goal scorers. Statman Dave's going to be on to me about Trippier as well. We're actually running a joint team, an FPL fantasy football team on the podcast this season. So me, Chris and Dave are basically doing our best to beat everyone in the world at this game. And Dave did say Kieran Trippier. I said, yeah, I know, but he's very expensive and he's not really been delivering the assists so far this season. So let's go Botman instead, which is fine.
No, it's fine. He's got you some points, maybe a clean sheet and a goal today.
But Trippier
3 assists. Both of them would have been brilliant.
I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to be in trouble with Chris and Dave. Ball wide left with Elliot Anderson. Horrible afternoon for Sheffield United, this one. Guimaraes clever round Hamer. Could be any number this, because Newcastle keep pouring forward. Trippier wide to Almiron. Guimaraes tries to find him again. Sheffield United have stemmed that attack for now. Back it comes to Robinson, and Robinson just clears it with his left foot. Scotland, Tonga, second half Rugby Union World Cup. Claire Thomas.
14, Tonga needed to find something, and upset all 148 kilos of their skipper, Ben Taimefuna. Predictably, he was unstoppable from short range, and Havili maintained his immaculate record from the tee. The gap has shrunk to 7 in Nice. It is Scotland 24, Tonga 17.
Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Wales, Australia on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. Kicks off at 8 o'clock. Gordon goes down in the penalty area, and the referee had a really good view of that. Akmahodzic with the challenge, and immediately Stuart Atwell said no penalty. Botman clears. Gordon's still hobbling, so Anderson can't use him. Tries to dance his way past Akmahodzic and Davis. Both of them attempt the tackle. Anderson still holds onto it for Newcastle. Guimaraes lets the ball run across his body. Hamer gives him a barge out of frustration, but the ball's already with Trippier. Back to Guimaraes. Newcastle in change kick this afternoon. The sort of dark blue or dark grey tops. Difficult to tell from up here. Match with the yellow shorts, yellow socks and yellow numbers on the back. And they're leading Sheffield United by 5-0. Longstaff, Byrne, Botman, Wilson, Gordon, the goal scorers. Here is Gordon. Plays in field to Elliot Anderson, the 20-year-old. Guimaraes floats one across the halfway line. Trippier kills it stone dead on his right boot. Guimaraes again making the run forward. Inside right channel, 40 yards from goal. Almiron pops up from behind him. Not the best first touch from Anderson, made it awkward. Sheffield United finally have the ball. Here's Benny Traore. He's going to have to try and do it on his own, and Anderson chases and slides in and makes a good clean tackle. Traore didn't really have an option. That'll be a throw into Sheffield United, and they're going to make another change. Anis Slimane will come on, the Tunisian. Another one of the summer signings, but it's a bit of a lost cause at the moment, trailing 5-0, and Hamer is the man to come off, and he's going to be saved for another day. He's made a good start to his Sheffield United career, but they are just being outplayed and overrun.
Yeah, you're getting overrun. The game's over as a contest. You might as well rest him and get him wrapped up for next week.
Clinton Morrison with us on 5 Live at BBC Sounds. Monday Night Club as ever. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for a couple of hours, and then 5 Live Golf will be well worth a listen from 9. Mark Chapman and the team, as the ball is played through by Guimaraes, and he couldn't quite find Callum Wilson. Reflections on the thrilling 3 days of golf in Spain in the Solheim Cup. The match eventually finished 14 points apiece, so Europe retained the trophy, having been 4-0 down after the opening session. Some comeback, that build up towards the Ryder Cup. We are there for all of it. Preview show on Thursday night from 7 o'clock, and then it all starts Friday morning from 6. Breakfast will be there. Gordon's ball into that Sheffield United penalty area. It's loose in there. Oh my goodness me, Wilson went for it. Strong challenge on him. It was a clean challenge, and it had to be as well. Otherwise that would have been a penalty. Sheffield United bring it out, and the pass forward is inaccurate, and Newcastle have possession again. Yeah,
you can see by the body language of players, they wish it was the end of the game. They've still got 20-something minutes left of this, so it's going to be, they have to just stay in it together, be more compact, because it's not worth, you're not going to come back after this scoreline, but you don't want to concede any more goals. If it gets 6-7 out, it's outrageous result.
23 minutes plus added time to be played, and Newcastle are showing absolutely no signs of letting up here. And as you say, Clinton, there'll be players coming off the bench who want to make an impression. So Sheffield United have really got to switch on. 5-0 down. Sounds a slightly ridiculous thing to say, doesn't it? Here's Cher inside his own half, all the time in the world, just to curl a ball to Elliot Anderson, who's unmarked. Driving run forward. Again, he almost runs into Gordon. They've not quite been on the same wavelength for the last few minutes or so. Back to Longstaff. Guimaraes plays back to Botman, who seems to be okay, having pulled up after landing awkwardly. Tonali
and
Isak is coming in. Isak's coming on. Jacob Murphy might be coming on. Almiron plays it to Guimaraes. Almiron makes a run. Good run. Almiron's in. 6-0. Slicing through the Sheffield United defence. That is fabulous football. But Sheffield United have gone walkabout this afternoon. 6 goals, 6 different scorers. Sheffield United hit for 6. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 6.
There's more to come in this hour. It's brilliant. Newcastle kept the ball for about 20 passes. Not one Sheffield United player's gone, you know what, I'm going to make a strong tackle. And just to know that you're in a game. It's not a game. It's not even a contest at the moment. But once Almiron gets into that position, fantastic finish. This could be 7, 8 or 9. I'm out because at the moment you just look at them, they look dejected. Someone that's out there in that Sheffield United team has to keep them going. And I'm looking at it, I can't see it, maybe apart from John Egan.
Stadium continues to empty, so every time a goal goes in, more seats flip up and people disappear. Sheffield United need their fans, and you can see, out on the pitch, they're gathering in groups, these Sheffield United players, and someone, as you say, Clint, has got to get in there and say, this stops now. So Premier League record is 9-0.
They need to be more solid. They're way too open at the moment, and you got someone like Isak coming on who want goals. So yeah, you just have to be more solid. They must be really frustrated.
Manchester United did it to Ipswich, Leicester did it to Southampton. I think Manchester United did it to Southampton as well. We'll look that one up. Just want to be absolutely sure I've got that right, but I'm pretty sure I am. 9-0 is record Premier League scoreline, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully to Sheffield United, but you're right, Clint, the way this second half has gone, that is definitely feasible. Wilson, Trippier, Almiron off. So Almiron's last act on the pitch, and he was desperate to get himself a goal. He did exactly that and got his goal.
Yeah, he was desperate. He was really desperate, and them other players are desperate to get on the pitch and make something happen.
So Tonali and Livramento and Isak are on, and again that just shows you the squad strength. Desperate afternoon for Sheffield United. 6-0 down at home to Newcastle, and still 20 minutes or so to play. It's going to be a big talking point tonight on 606. Lines are open, 08 085 909 693. Robbie and Chris taking the calls for an hour tonight, and then we're over to France for Wales against Australia. Scotland Tonga at the moment continues over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Newcastle go hunting the ball hungrily. Sheffield United have barely had any possession at all in this second half. Such a morale sapping afternoon for them in terms of attempted Premier League survival. Here they come, possible chance. Akmahodzic shoots high over the bar. Well, that was better football. That was half a chance, but he's knocked it over and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
It's good play. He's got to hit the target though. Once he gets into that position, good 1-2 with Traore. He really should be working Nick Pope. He blazes it over. Great opportunity for Sheffield United.
Goal kick Newcastle, they lead 6-0. Sheffield United have tumbled all the way to the bottom of the Premier League table due to the goal difference now, basically. Stands at -10. So coming into today, they'd lost 4 of the first 5 games, but they'd only been beaten in each of those defeats by a single goal, and loads of those late goals. Today they have been absolutely walloped. Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United all on 1 point apiece. Bournemouth sit on 3. They lost at Brighton today. You've got Wolves and Everton on 4. Elliot Anderson, Maisie Daisy run through the heart of the Sheffield United midfield. It's amazing to look out across the stadium. So many blocks of empty seats, apart from the black and white striped end, lower tier, away to our left, which is still absolutely jam-packed. I'm sure the Olays will start soon. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 6. If you are just tuning in, yes, 6 different scorers for Newcastle in this romp at Bramall Lane. Guimaraes to Tonali, toying with Sheffield United, making them chase. Byrne plays back to Pope. Has had nothing to do in the second half, was called into action early on in the game when Sheffield United actually started quite brightly. Share up to Gordon. Gordon slightly overrun that inside his own half, gets away with it. Tonali with his outside of his right foot finds Guimaraes across to Dan Byrne. Dan Byrne comes chugging forward. Souza sort of jogging alongside him. Back it comes to Guimaraes. Guimaraes running across the face of the Sheffield United penalty area to Gordon. Little flick. Longstaff. Isak inside the penalty area. Cross comes in from the right from Livramento. And that's intercepted, and McAtee on the ball for Sheffield United, but chased by Tonali, who will be full of running. Takes him to the byline, to the edge of the pitch. Doesn't go out for a throw, but then Gordon's there with the challenge, and it does go out for a throw to Sheffield United. 18 minutes to play, plus added time. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 6, with Chris Basham about to come onto the field. I was talking about Sheffield United quite optimistically at the start of the afternoon, Clinton, in terms of, you know, only 1 point on the board, but the performances, and it had only been late goals.
Yeah.
But this really sets them back badly today.
Yeah, it does, because some of the games they've been in the games, but not today. They've capitulated today. It's been really sloppy.
Giving the ball away again, that is sloppy, to Alexander Isak, speeding into the Sheffield United penalty area. 2 defenders on him, can't quite keep it. Might come back to Longstaff. Deflected shot, Guimaraes! 7-0! Like an arrow into the top corner. Newcastle absolutely rampant at Bramall Lane. Every shot they hit goes in. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 7.
This place is empty and so quick as well. And you know what? They give the ball away, then they get back. And you know when it's not your day, you make a tackle, it deflects to Bruno Guimaraes. He's 6 yards out, and he just puts it into an empty net. But yeah, wow, I cannot believe what I'm watching this afternoon. They've completely gone Sheffield United.
Well, it is time to start looking through the record books at record wins and record defeats for both clubs and that kind of thing. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 7. Yes, of course, Newcastle beat Sheffield Wednesday 8-0. So the other Sheffield team on 19th of September 1999. That was an 8-0 win. This is 7-0. Tell you the other one as well, if the goals do keep going in. That is 7 different scorers as well, Clinton, which is quite unusual.
Very unusual. Very, very unusual.
Yeah.
They just got... I don't get it. They still got 2 strikers. Just being nice and compact, and hard to break down. They're still trying to go to try and get goals. And you're just leaving yourself wide open.
Well, Clinton did say at the start of the afternoon we get more goals than the North London derby, which is our first commentary of the afternoon, which was some game, by the way.
I didn't know it was going to be this much out for one team either.
No, that's right. That one finished 2-2. All the highlights well worth watching tonight. Match of the day 2, BBC 1 at 10:30, and this one 8 over. Tom Davis floated ball into the Newcastle box. Byrne leaps and heads it away. Elliot Anderson heads the ball, and then he runs into Sousa, and that was unfortunate. Sousa was just in the way. Well, hang on. Who's getting yellow carded? Sousa.
No, I think Slimani got a yellow card because he's running over to the referee to ask to complain. Okay, so right. He booked him.
Yeah.
Not Sousa, because he's run into him. I don't even think it was a foul.
So Lee Blakeman, our producer, I think is showing us this Newcastle United's record club win in Division 2 this game back in 1946 was 13-0 against Newport County. Okay. Scotland, Tonga, what's going on in the Rugby Union World Cup? Claire Thomas.
Well, Tonga absolutely flew out of the blocks at the start of this second passage of play, but Scotland have finally broken the stalemate through replacement scrum half George Horn. George Horn is over, conversion to come, but Scotland back up and running. That's their 5th try of the afternoon. They lead 29 points to 17.
Yeah, no problem, Claire. I feel like that a little bit this afternoon as well, trying to keep across all these goal scorers. 7 of them for Newcastle. Longstaff, Byrne, Botman, Wilson, Gordon, Almiron and Guimaraes. And the cameraman or camera woman has just done a very clever job. I'm sure you're going to see this on Match of the Day 2 tonight. Just picked up a Sheffield United fan clad in the replica kit, and Clinton, eyes not on the football. What was she doing?
She was reading a book. That's how interested she was.
She was
reading a book. She'd given up.
Reading a book here with her team trailing by 7 goals to 0. 6:06 on the way. We're into the last 15 minutes of the game. Bramall Lane continues to empty, and here's Longstaff on the ball across to Guimaraes. Guimaraes slices a pass badly there. Ahmahodzic intercepts. Man on shout, a few Sheffield United fans. And here's Basham, one of the substitutes, charging down the right. Can Sheffield United at least get themselves a goal? Tackle made by Guimaraes. Newcastle won't give up a goal easily. They will try and defend the clean sheet proudly. But here they come, Sheffield United. Basham in space on the right, slice cross, stretching, and it lands on the roof of Nick Pope's net. Some statement from Newcastle as well, actually, Clinton. And I've been quite impressed with their ruthlessness and their desire just to go on and on and on, and realise this is a team there for the taking. They're going to absolutely crush them.
Yeah, because that 3-0 is the game over, and they can just sit there and just say, let's keep it in second gear. But they've gone to 3rd, to 4th and to 5th gear. They've been outstanding in this second half. They've been ruthless, and as I said, you want to make a statement, and this is a big statement from Newcastle.
More stats coming from Lee Blakeman on all the goals Newcastle are scoring. I tell you what, though, they might be on their way for an 8, so we'll come back to it in a second. It's actually going to render that stat irrelevant. Here's Gordon inside the penalty area. Livramento in support, wide on the right, and Gordon Goes bustling away, back to Tonali. Tonali, inside right channel, 25 yards from goal, plays it back to Fabian Schär. Newcastle last one 7-0, not so long ago, at Morecambe, September 2020, in the League Cup third round. League Cup commentary's on the way, midweek on 5 Live Sports Extra on BBC Sounds. Tuesday night we've got Salford City against Burnley on 5 Live. Manchester United against Clinton Morrison's former club Crystal Palace on Sports Extra. And Wednesday night it's Newcastle. This Newcastle team up against Manchester City, which will be an interesting one. That's going to be a much changed Manchester City team. Pep Guardiola has already said that with all the injuries they've got. That'll be 5 Live on Wednesday night. Lincoln against West Ham will be your commentary on Sports Extra. Ryder Cup on the way next week as well. Oh yes, starts early Friday morning, and 5 Live will be there right from the start of the week, in fact. But in terms of the commentary, breakfast show will come live from the Marco Simone Golf Course, 6 o'clock Friday morning, and commentary all the way through from 9 in the morning and across the weekend. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 7. Lots of Newcastle United possession. Guimaraes caught late, advantage play. Newcastle continue to pour forward. Anthony Gordon holds on to the ball. He's got 4 players ahead of him. He's just running across the Sheffield United half. Look at Dan Burn busting a gut there to get forward from left back. Anderson to Longstaff, half tackled, might run to Tonali. Anderson says no, takes it off him. Anderson dummies the shot, out it comes to Livramento, crosses blocked, and behind it goes for a corner. Anderson hasn't scored yet, but that showed a bit of confidence as well, Clinton. Tonali's about to take the ball and Anderson goes no, out my way.
Yeah, he takes it off him. If it was me, he won't be taking that off me. I'll be having a shot. Tonali should have said no, I'm having it. But yeah, Hall's coming on now, isn't it, Al? So that'll be good for him.
Will make a debut.
That's his debut. I was going to say that.
Will make a debut. Yes. Played a bit of football, particularly towards the end of last season for Chelsea, as an attacking left wing back under Frank Lampard. Number 20 on. Corner in for Newcastle. There's the header. Tipped over the bar. I think that was Anderson. He's desperate to get himself on the score sheet. Wants to get the 8th. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 7. 08085 909 693 to get your calls in straight after the game to speak to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. And then after 6:06, taking you back to the Rugby Union World Cup. 8 o'clock kick-off tonight, Wales against Australia. Into the last 10 minutes, corner comes in, an away swing, it's headed away. Controlled beautifully by Livramento. Wide it goes again to Tonali. Time to cross in. Byrne tries to get another goal by throwing himself at it. Fabian Schär curls one over the bar. And that was neither one nor t'other. It wasn't really a cross. It wasn't really a shot. There was no power. It was just sort of a loop chip over the bar.
Yeah, he got excited. He got very excited. He thought he could bend that into the far corner. He thought everyone else is scoring. I fancy my chances.
Yeah. Well, he normally gives it the hammer though. Schär can really hit them, doesn't he? But he went a bit sort of messy with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he tried to go right into that top corner. Little bender.
Yeah, getting ideas above his station. So Lewis Hall comes on for Bruno Guimaraes, who gets himself a rest. Newcastle against Manchester City Wednesday, then at home to Burnley, then at home to Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, which will be some night at St James's Park. Champions League nights back at St James's Park for the first time in a couple of decades. 5 Live will be there, of course, and West Ham away before the next international break. So last 10 minutes of the game. Away end still packed, joyous Newcastle fans. Sheffield United on the ball inside their own half. Tom Davies plays it to his left. Newcastle United chasing. Luke Thomas wriggles out of a tight spot. That's good football. Here comes Egan, who served this club proudly for many years, and this will be one of his worst afternoons in the red and white of Sheffield United. Traore, that's a nice ball edge of the penalty area, couldn't quite take it in stride. Tom Davies, well tackled by Livramento. Here's Gordon. Gordon plays it up to Isak. Gordon continues his run. Isak couldn't get the pass away, comes back to Anderson. Tackled from behind heavily by Tom Davies, and that will be a free kick to Newcastle.
Yeah, to be fair, Anderson should have released that straight away to Hall. Hall was in, he had been too many touches, and Davies had to make that tackle, to be fair.
Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 7. Last 10 minutes at Bramall Lane. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Benny Traore makes a run, screams in frustration as the ball doesn't get played down the right. Basham's in a spot of bother, turns, fires it forward, and it's headed away by Anderson. And some of those Newcastle players have been out there from the start. Do look a little jaded, unsurprisingly, but I mean, what a shift they put in, front foot and back foot, and what a win this is going to be. After a sticky start to the season, of course, because they won their first game handsomely against Villa, then lost away to Manchester City, beaten by the 10 men of Liverpool, Darwin Núñez off the bench with those two fabulous finishes, and lost 3-1 away to Brighton. They've bounced back brilliantly since then. Here's Traore, tackled by Byrne. 7 minutes plus added time remaining at the end of this game. Stuart McCall still barking out the instructions for Sheffield United. Ahmedhodzic across to Sousa. Sousa's floated ball across the halfway line. Livramento sucked into challenging for that, and the ball breaks nicely on the left. What can Sheffield United do with this? They can find Tom Davis in central midfield. Playing across the park here to Sousa. Ahmedhodzic is there. Poor first touch from him. Longstaff in to win it. Lewis Hall runs into trouble. Tackled by Basham. Still Basham. Plays the ball just outside the penalty area. Basham's back onto it again. Chance possibly to get a shot away. They can't this time. Comes back to Tom Davis. Shoots some of the Sheffield United fans in faint desperation. Ahmedhodzic. Back to Sousa. Sousa rolls the ball under the studs of his right boot. Cross it comes to Tom Davis. 25 yards out. Newcastle still holding that defensive line. Davis again, edge of the box, driving to his left, hits it high, over the bar. Goal kick, 7-0 to Newcastle.
Yeah, they just lack quality. Defensively, they've been nowhere near good enough this season defensively. Conceding far too many goals. You come to the Premier League, you can't concede that much goals, and they just look like they're lacking a cutting edge up front. Archer will score goals. Yeah. He needs support around him.
Yeah, not really at a sniff this afternoon. Clinton Morrison with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Sven Botman at walking pace inside the Newcastle penalty area, trying to draw Sheffield United players in. Unsurprisingly, their hearts don't look massively in it. Trailing by 7-0. Thoughts of Paul Heckingbottom and Eddie Howe live, hopefully, for you during 6:06 before we start the build-up to Wales-Australia from 7:30. Kick-off at 8 o'clock in that massive game in the Rugby Union World Cup tonight. Cher plays it forward. Isak tries to control on the run. Ball skids away from him. Egan plays back to his goalkeeper Fotheringham floats one down the middle of the pitch, headed forward by Longstaff. Tom Davis nods it down to Traore controls to Sousa, to Davis. Nice ball with the outside of his right foot. Slimane tries to slide one through and Dan Burn reads it well. He's been good actually, Dan Burn.
Yeah, he's been very good. They didn't bring him in as a left back, they brought him in as a centre half when he was playing at Brighton, but he's been outstanding at left back. Really, really good.
Ball is back with Fotheringham, and the pain is almost over for Sheffield United fans still inside this stadium. 5 minutes plus added time remaining. Newcastle leading by 7-0. There's one for Archer to chase. Pope sees the danger, comes across and takes absolutely no chances on his left foot, just side puts it straight out of play for a throw into Sheffield United on the right. Basham comes sprinting forward to pick up the replacement ball off the white plastic cone, holds it high above his head, looks for an option. Who's still making themselves available at this late stage? Well, Traore tries to. Lewis Hall does well to win it for Newcastle. Slightly overruns it. Sliding challenge from Sousa. Slimane with Tonali at his back. Sousa's there again. Ball runs away to Livramento, jogging forward inside his own half, and finds Longstaff. Longstaff to Tonali. Wide to Livramento. Can Newcastle find an eighth? Isak stretches. Davis is there. Heads it back, but only as far as Isak. Lovely skill. It is an eighth. Alexander Isak, the 8th different scorer on the day, gifted a goal this time by the header from Tom Davis, and Sheffield United do not know what's hit them. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 8.
I can't see where Tom Davis is trying to head that ball. He just played Isak in on goal. Surely he's got to be hooking that away. No time to be trying to play pretty football or head it back to a defender. Clear your lines, but credit to Isak. Once he gets into that position, he's ice cool, Ali. The finish is fantastic. He sits the defender down and coolly just passes it past Fotheringham into the empty net. Brilliant finish.
Sheffield United could have scored first in this game, and the first 20 minutes actually were fairly even. They were creating chances. Newcastle then got their goal, and they have just been on the rampage ever since. And Sheffield United, this could be so damaging for the entire season. A defeat like this, and Stuart McCall, the coach, just had his head in his hands.
What can you do? Well, it's not. You can't blame the management. The players they say it out. They crossed that white line. It's up to them now to see it out. And the managers can say, and the coaches can say as much as they want on the touchline. They've just folded like a pack of cards in the second half. It's been nowhere near good enough.
Joint best ever Premier League victory for Newcastle. That one we talked about against Sheffield Wednesday. So they've done it against Sheffield Wednesday back in '99. This is the time to try and equal that Premier League record if they can get a ninth. 8 different goal scorers as well. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage take the calls. What a ball forward to Elliot Anderson. They might just get 9, you know. Here's Anderson running away from Sousa. Did well for Sheffield United. Made sure that he won that tackle. Tom Davis goes hurtling into a challenge. Dan Burn deals with Traore. Burn flicks it over the head of Basham. Tries to get onto it. The ball runs here to Gordon, the danger man. Gordon surrounded by red and white shirts. Goes to try and win that ball back. Sheffield United will play out from the back at right back, but it only goes out for a throw-in to Newcastle wide on the left. Not long left in this game. We're in the 89th minute, in fact. Another picture up on the screen, the replay monitor in front of us, of a young Sheffield United fan in a replica shirt with the glummest of glum faces, those cheeks all puffed out with her face just cupped in her hands, as Newcastle continue to play with the ball. 90th minute of the game, and they lead Sheffield United by 8-0, and it's one of those where Eddie Howe at the end will come over almost apologetically, I think, to Paul Heckingbottom, because he'll know just how awful that feels for an opposition manager.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Obviously, his team have done a thorough professional job, have been outstanding, but yeah, he'll be feeling it for Paul Heckingbottom, most definitely. No manager likes to lose that much.
Don't get many wins of this magnitude in the Premier League. Right up there, 8-0. 30 seconds plus added time remaining, and Newcastle cruelly just making Sheffield United chase and chase and chase. Botman up towards Anderson, trying to turn it round the corner, flicked on by Longstaff, who started the route with the first goal this afternoon. Tonali heads it to his right, Slimani onto it. Can Sheffield United at the very least find themselves a goal? 08085 909 693 to get those calls into 606. 6 minutes of added time.
The officials could have been a bit poor. You know, they didn't really need to put up the 6 minutes, did they?
6 minutes of added time. Sheffield United got to be careful here. They don't want to be on the end of a record equalling or even a record setting Premier League defeat. 8-0 down. Dan Burn on the ball, floated with his left foot just beyond Gordon. Gordon turns and chases, and Egan, that's a tired swing of the right boot, slices it out for a throw-in to Newcastle on the left. It will take a lot of coming back from, this will, for Sheffield United. Rock bottom of the Premier League table. Goal difference has taken an absolute hammering. 1 point from the first 6 games. Burn back here to Botman. Botman just outside his own penalty area, into added time now at the end of this game. Chris and Robbie on the way, then World Cup rugby tonight. Football Daily for all the reaction to today's football. Subscribe to that via the BBC Sounds app, and while you're at it, get yourself onto the Rugby Union Daily as well. 5 Live Golf tomorrow night will be a good listen from 9 o'clock. Here come Newcastle again. Isak looks for Gordon. Gordon just stopped in his tracks by Akmahodzic. Fotheringham clears with his left foot. Traore controls it on his thigh. Still Newcastle players. That's good skill buzzing around him. Manages to get it back in the end to Basham. Basham back to Fotheringham. Newcastle fans giving it the woo as Gordon goes chasing, and the ball's played up the middle to Archer. Archer lays it off into midfield. Tonali stretches. It does feel like the whole game now actually is slowing down to a bit of a jog. Sheffield United's biggest league defeat, I'm reading, was 10-3 at Middlesbrough in November 33. So this will be their biggest ever league defeat in the history of the football club. An 8-goal margin. A sorry, sorry day for Sheffield United, who trail Newcastle by 8-0. But the other thing I'd say, Clinton, taking us right back to the start of the day and remembering the life of young Maddie Cusack, who tragically passed away in the week, is it just reminds you that, you know, we love our football teams and we think it's the be-all and end-all. It is absolutely not, is it? Far more important things go on.
Oh yeah, than losing 8-0.
Totally.
Yeah, there's far more important things in life. It will hurt, but as you said, far much more important things.
Yeah, Sheffield United fans waiting for the full-time whistle. Newcastle possibly will go looking for a ninth. Clock is ticking down. 3.5 minutes to play. Can Newcastle find the ninth? How desperately do they want the ninth? Would those players out there be aware that the Premier League record is 9-0? Let's see, here's Livramento on the right. Livramento comes in field. Gordon, left-footed ball. Isak stretches one of those long legs out and controls it beautifully on his left foot. Pass out to the right. I think that's Longstaff out there. Good challenge on him by Slimani. Slimani gets it away. Tonali's there to stop Archer in his tracks. Fabian Schär applauds the defensive effort from his midfielder. And we're into the last 3 minutes of the game. And as we look across the pitch to the John Street stand, look to the right to the Kop stand, there are more empty seats than there are Sheffield United fans. If you want your say with Chris and Robbie, Sheffield United fans, do it tonight on 606. Here's Traore on the right, chased again by loads of Newcastle players, desperate still to keep the clean sheet. Here's Tom Davies. Tom Davies 40 yards out, finds Slimani. Slimani, right-footed ball to the edge of the box, too easy to intercept. Could almost be a 2-on-2 this. Gordon will fancy this. Anthony Gordon gets the ball at his feet. 1-on-1 with Egan. Look at the run from Lewis Hall. Egan trips Gordon, and that does stop the attacking opportunity for Newcastle because they were bombing forward again, and Egan gets the booking.
Yeah, Gordon should have rode it to young Hall though. I don't know why he had to come inside. He's had a brilliant day, but give it to the youngster. It's because he's enjoying his game, but the youngster Hall was making a great overlapping run, but maybe he's thinking, I don't want it to be 9.
It's going to be a record defeat this, a record defeat in the club's history, league defeat for Sheffield United. These players will not want that on their records. Schär is up there to try and win a header from the set piece. Ball drops loose on the edge of the penalty area, 90 seconds to play, and Schär barges in to try and win the ball back as he was on his way back to his position.
You know what it looks like, Al? It looks like they've got 10 men, Sheffield United at times, as in the second half, and it's hard, and now it's going to be a big job for Paul Heckingbottom to get his players up for the next game, but they'll be wanting the next game to come thick and fast, to be fair, because you don't want to be, you always have this at the back of your mind. When you put your head on the pillow tonight, you'll be thinking about this.
West Ham away next weekend for Sheffield United. Slimani plays it forward to Archer. Sheffield United still coming. Schär backpedaling. What can Archer do? Inside the Newcastle box, back to the edge of the box. Tom Davies hits the shot, deflects, and Basham just lays it back here into the path of Sousa. 50 seconds to play offside. Well, that sums it up for Sheffield United. Slight bit of attacking threat towards the end of the game, and the offside flag is up. We are handing to 606 shortly. 8-0 to Newcastle. I'll do it now so it doesn't take up any more time. Your 8 goal scorers this afternoon: Longstaff, Byrne, Botman, Wilson, Gordon, Almiron, Guimaraes and Isak. Trippier with 3 assists. I haven't got the rest of the assists written down. It's a day that the
Gordon had.
Are you going to try and work it out?
I couldn't even remember all the goal scorers. So fair play to you for remembering them. I lost.
Well, I've written them down.
5.
I've written them down, Clinton. Right. Match the day 2. 10:30 BBC One, possibly not for Sheffield United fans tonight, a day to be forgotten. 606 is on the way. Tonali driving forward, 10 seconds to go. Oh, his pass into the back of the legs of Longstaff, and the full-time whistle blows here at Bramall Lane. A sorry day for Sheffield United. They have been absolutely thumped by Newcastle by 8 goals to 0. The Newcastle fans joyously sing and celebrate away to our left. An afternoon that they will long remember, and an afternoon really, Clinton, that we won't forget in a long time, because first 20 minutes was pretty even, and then once Newcastle got the first, Sheffield United absolutely fell apart.
Yeah, it was outstanding. Sheffield United started the game ever so well, but you're right, they capitulated after they went 1 and then 2, 3. Every player that was coming onto the pitch felt like they were going to score, and it was disappointing for the Sheffield United fans and the Sheffield United players. But outstanding from Newcastle. They've had a long week and a fantastic result.
Well, credit to these Sheffield United players staying out there and applauding the fans who've stuck it out. And to be fair to them, the fans that have stayed, they are applauding them back. There has to be a response from Sheffield United. 6:06 6:06 on the way. Robbie and Chris will want your thoughts. Scotland-Tonga in the Rugby Union World Cup continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Quick update from Claire Thomas.
Scotland have their sixth. That is surely the game. A quickly taken penalty in the Tongan 22 was followed by patient, repeated efforts from the forwards, and eventually the dam burst with a beaming Blair Kinghorn gliding over the whitewash for his first World Cup try. Russell made it a 7-pointer, growing the gap to 21 in a game that Scotland had to win in order to keep their hopes of a quarter-final alive. Safe to say, the Tartan Army in the stands absolutely loved it. 8 minutes left in this one, and it's 38 plays 17 in Nice.
Newcastle players still out here at Bramall Lane. The field is theirs, the celebrations are theirs. They slowly march towards those Newcastle United fans who are singing their praises, and we know what's coming on social media later. That team shot, the entire team, the club, all together in the dressing room, which is what they do after all their games, particularly though on a day like today. So Scotland-Tonga continues, Scotland going well. Tonight on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, full commentary of Wales-Australia live from Lyon at 8 o'clock. Gareth Lewis will be our man at this one.
Yeah, simple for Wales. Ali, if they win, they're through to the quarterfinals with a game to spare. It's a tried and tested look for Warren Gatland's team. A replay of a thriller in Tokyo in 2019, which Wales just about held on to win. Not the best of build-ups to Australia. The Australian Rugby Union have had to deny reports that Eddie Jones held secret talks to take over with Japan a few weeks ago. A kick-off here in Lyon in an hour and a half's time.
Thank you, Gareth. Looking forward to that one. Nearly a smile creeping across Eddie Howe's face. What a performance from his team this afternoon. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2 in the North London derby. Brighton 3, Bournemouth 1, Chelsea 0, Villa 1, Liverpool 3, West Ham 1, and Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 8. Sheffield United's biggest league defeat in their history, and the Newcastle United players still out here, and they'll be out here for a while on the pitch at Bramall Lane. What a win for them, what a week for them. The win against Brentford, the draw in the San Siro, and a walloping 8-0 win at Bramall Lane. 6:06 on the way with Chris and Robbie after the 5 Live News.
Listen on BBC Sounds.